And we are live.
All right. Hi guys, what's up? It's been a long time. I hope all of you are doing great. Okay, before we begin, can we just please have a quick round of sound check? If everything is working fine, can someone let us know in the chat if the sound is not echoing, if it's fine from both of our side? Kapil, तू भी
Because
बोलेगा
it's
कुछ?
been 9 months, right? तो ये एक बार वापस कर लेना बेटर है. I think okay ही है. Nobody has complained. Though I guess there are not too many people in the chat as well. But yeah, अगर कुछ है problem तो भैया बोल दो. Otherwise, I think we
Yeah.
can continue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Sahinder to is
mean,
saying
at
it's
least
all
from
good.
my side, it's sounding fine. So yeah, maybe we can start.
Hmm.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone from wherever you're joining. Yeah, like Kapil said, it's been almost 9, 10 months. Last, when did we connect last, Kapil?
वही
Paris
मतलब
से
जब
आने के बाद,
हाँ
right?
पेरिस
We
से आने
did
के
a
बाद जो
review
स्टैंड वाला
stream.
स्कीम किया था यार.
Correct. Yeah, I don't even remember. Matlab, it's been so long. Like I tweeted about it, right? Either it was a lull period or nothing was going on, in the Indian sports. So, मेरा तो sort of disconnect हो ही गया था, and there were obviously a lot of things going on the personal side as well. But yeah, what have you been up to?
हाँ नहीं मतलब पर्सनली ओके ठीक है मतलब आई कुड हैव स्ट्रीम दैट वाज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम बट हाँ मेरा भी वही था कि इट्स लाइक once the Olympics ended it was like there was never really anything which you felt talking about मतलब ठीक है क्रिकेट
Hmm.
चल रहा था चेस चल रहा था लॉट ऑफ मोमेंट्स हैपन देयर बट वैभव डजंट डू क्रिकेट एंड चेस तो वो हटा दिया तो उसके बाद मतलब स्पोर्ट्स ही ज़्यादा चल नहीं रहता आई थिंक द ओनली स्पोर्ट विच वाज regularly running after the Olympics was badminton and there
Hmm.
was not much to talk about there in any case तो
Yeah, true.
तो बेसिकली वही था कि थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर चला था यस बीच बीच में टूर्नामेंट्स आए हियर एंड देयर बट नथिंग रियली which excited you कि okay let's go and talk about it outside of course cricket and chess जो
But have you been watching live sports
yeah so I have been watching not
other than
as
chess, of course?
हाँ अदर देन चेस अदर देन क्रिकेट तो मतलब मैक्सिमम तो ऑब्वियसली क्रिकेट एंड चेस ही देखा है पोस्ट ओलंपिक्स बट या बीच में जो जो हुआ है मतलब हॉकी लीग आया था तब मतलब हॉकी प्रो लीग का जो पूरा लेग आया था इन आई थिंक
Mhm.
फेब्रवरी और वेरेवर तब देखा था आर्चरी जो बीच में आता है शूटिंग का एक आधा वर्ल्ड कप है सो
Mm.
जितना थोड़ा बहुत आया है देखा है आई थिंक वन स्पोर्ट विच आई एम फाइंडिंग मे बी टफ टू वॉच इज बैडमिंटन बट उसके अलावा
Mhm.
आई थिंक आई वॉच्ड मतलब एटलीस्ट वॉच्ड फॉलोड जितना भी हो रहा है सो या
Mm.
इट्स नॉट के पूरा आउट है वॉच
Mm.
बट मे बी नॉट एज religiously as you watch when it's building up to the Olympics and stuff.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, even for me, I obviously live sports though haven't been able to follow at all. Whatever I've been able to do is catching up, all the time watching highlights. ठीक the next day you follow all the highlights, badminton देख लिया, athletics, whichever sports is going on,
Hmm.
right? Then again, Twitter is always there. Most of my feed used to come from Twitter. So वहीं से मैंने follow किया, just being honest. But yeah, now when the things are warming up, तो थोड़ा थोड़ा I am also getting into the groove. And also Olympics से आने के बाद I had a change in job. So पहले 6 महीने तो मेरे वहीं पे busy हो गए, and then I recently switched to a new place as well. So personally भी मेरा इतना कुछ चल रहा था that you absolutely had no time to properly follow as such.
Hmm.
But yeah, all the dust is settled now. So yeah, and I think Asian Games, Commonwealth be like closing in, right? So धीरे धीरे things will start getting warmed up. By the way, just got reminded, where are we in terms of Commonwealth Games? Are they happening? What do we have latest on that?
कॉमनवेल्थ का लेटेस्ट तो वही था ना दे आर हैपनिंग बट देर आर लाइक ओनली 10 स्पोर्ट्स सो मतलब आउट ऑफ
Hmm.
ऑल द टॉप इंडियन स्पोर्ट्स एवरीथिंग इज ड्रॉप्ड एक्सेप्ट फॉर द वेट लिफ्टिंग
And
जितना
where
मैं
is it? Victoria, Australia.
नहीं नहीं विक्टोरिया से तो हट गया था ना इट केम टू यूके समवेयर इन यूके आई डोंट रिमेंबर आई थिंक स्कॉटलैंड
I
में भी
mean,
हाँ
UK hosted last time. Oh
हाँ
yeah, Glasgow.
हाँ ग्लासगो बट विक्टोरिया गेव इट अप ना
Okay.
तो फिर उसके बाद तो हुएवर कैन कम इन एंड
Hmm.
इंडिया की भी बात चली थी बट इट वाज मोर लाइक ओनली इन द मीडिया नेवर रियली सीरियसली और फिर वही बात हो जाती है कि भैया ऑस्ट्रेलिया को नहीं रखना है ऑस्ट्रेलिया कितनी फट रही है तो हम करेंगे कहाँ से पॉलिटिशियंस स्टार्ट थिंकिंग दैट वे ओनली व्हाट्स द पॉइंट
Yeah.
पीपल आर
Yeah,
टॉकिंग
but
अबाउट
personally,
फुटबॉल पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फुटबॉल की फुटबॉल बात करो फुटबॉल।
फुटबॉल में क्या बात करना?
मतलब फुटबॉल में तो जनरली वही चल रहा था कि इंडिया की फटे जा रही है, इतना ही चल रहा था जो मैंने थोड़ा बहुत देखा
हाँ
था।
मतलब वो तो पेरेनियल गवर्नेंस इशू हैं,
हम्म।
उनका तो कुछ कर नहीं सकते। एंड आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनीथिंग टू टॉक अबाउट, इट्स ऑल कॉन्स्पिरेसी थियरीज, ब्लेम गेम। पहले का जो, मतलब नथिंग हैज वर्चुअली चेंज फॉर इंडियन फुटबॉल, राइट? सेम गुड ओल्ड स्टोरी।
कॉन्स्पिरेसी थियरीज, ओके ठीक है। आई मीन माय theory always has just been that we are not good enough यार, उसके बाद
वी
everything
आर
else
नॉट,
comes later.
हाँ वही ना, बट द प्लेयर्स आर नॉट गुड इनफ, द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन डज नॉट हैव द राइट विजन, there's so much of politicians involved. कुछ भी हो सकता है ना, मतलब where do you pinpoint the main reasoning behind it?
And yeah,
So
and
वही है।
also I mean if you just look at a global perspective, I mean it's good that you know अगर okay फुटबॉल में कभी किसी दिन कुछ हुआ तो it is fine. But I mean if you just look at globally जो team sports होते हैं ना, तो proper team sports like with 11 people per team, if you look
हम्म,
at globally also, I mean there is very few instances of you know a team which doesn't have that culture of that game you know suddenly coming up. One example is definitely the Belgium hockey team. बट उसमें भी ये था कि नेदरलैंड्स जर्मनी बाजू वाली सब कंट्रीज वर वेरी गुड एंड बेल्जियम कॉटा। बट उसके अलावा इफ यू लुक एट इट, जैसे अब रग्बी में भी देखो वही 10-12 कंट्री खेलती है, क्रिकेट में भी वही 12-14 कंट्री खेलती है, फुटबॉल में भी।
क्योंकि उसका रीजन ये है, a lot of athletes that do well in our sports, it's mostly down to individual brilliance, right? Team sports में you have to be coming through a systematic process, जो कि मुश्किल हो जाता है इंडियन स्पोर्टिंग कॉन्टेक्स्ट में। द वे थिंग्स रन, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में कोई विजन नहीं होता। यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट बेल्जियन हॉकी, राइट? सो दे हैड अ प्रॉपर प्रोग्राम इन प्लेस, ग्रास रूट से लेके एलीट तक, द वे दे नर्चर्ड एवरीथिंग, राइट? सो ऑब्वियसली वो सिस्टमैटिक होता है, तो things fall in shape for all the western countries, but for us that's the only thing missing.
But I'm saying even in Western countries, if you look at it, it's like, do you know of, other than Belgium, do you know of any country who, let's say, was world number 50, world number 70 in a team sport, and within,
Mhm.
let's say, 5-10 years, they have reached the world top 10?
Look, nothing comes on top of my mind, but if you get into the football, right? Football में you will definitely get quite a few examples जहाँ
बट
पे ऐसा हुआ है।
बट फुटबॉल में भी देखोगे, मतलब वर्ल्ड कप तो वही 8-9 कंट्री ने जीता है। इवेंचुअली एक एक कंट्री आती है, कभी कभी क्वार्टर फाइनल पहुंच जाएगी, सेमीफाइनल पहुंच जाएगी, 4-6 साल बाद वही पीछे। एंड इट जनरली हैपेंस व्हेन वन सम ब्रिलियंट प्लेयर कम्स, जैसे
हम्म,
आइवरी कोस्ट विल कम अप व्हेन एक डिडियर ड्रॉगबा आ गया, या यू नो सम अदर कंट्री विल कम अप व्हेन वन प्लेयर कम्स अप एंड मेक्स अ मार्क, एंड ठीक है यू हैव अ गुड वर्ल्ड कप। कभी जैसे अब कोरिया विल हैव यू नो, कोरिया में वर्ल्ड कप हुआ तो एक कोरिया सेमी पहुंच गया, बट देन आफ्टर दैट नथिंग इन एनी केस।
yeah, but if you see, the development continued after that also, right? Japan is a good case study in this case.
या बट अगेन दे आर
Japan
लाइक,
is not doing very well at the
हाँ
elite level की semi-final वगैरह तक नहीं पहुंचता, but it's almost like a matter of time, honestly, if you see how well they are progressing in terms of their grassroots, in terms of their players playing in almost all the European leagues right now, and that too in some of the best clubs. So वो systematic program के through ही आते हैं सारे, तो वही है।
हाँ देखते हैं, बट मेरा मतलब माय पॉइंट वही है कि इज देयर अ सीलिंग, मतलब जापान आल्सो यू नो कैन गेट टू लेट्स से वर्ल्ड नंबर 20, वर्ल्ड नंबर 25, कैन दे गेट टू वर्ल्ड नंबर 5? आई एम नॉट टू श्योर।
Yes, why not?
या इफ इट
every
हैपेंस ग्रेट।
everything is in place right now for them to get to world number 5. That's the only thing. And obviously football being such a competitive sport, that there could be a 80 ranked country beating world number 1 on a given day as well.
हाँ मतलब
Always happens, right?
मतलब वो तो उसमें वो भी है राइट, कि बीटिंग से ज्यादा ड्रॉस भी होते हैं, यू स्टार्ट विद 0-0, सो यू कैन मे बी होल्ड फॉर 90 मिनट्स, वो भी हो जाता है। बट
Yeah.
यार लेट्स सी, क्योंकि मतलब फुटबॉल में भी मुझे लगता है फुटबॉल इज, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऑब्वियसली फुटबॉल इज एनीवेज द एक्सेप्शन, क्योंकि फुटबॉल इज दिस ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट जो और कोई दूसरा स्पोर्ट है नहीं। एंड उसके बावजूद इफ यू लुक एट यू नो द नंबर ऑफ कंट्रीज दैट हैज वन द फुटबॉल वर्ल्ड कप, इट्स स्टिल व्हाट 7-8 कंट्रीज व्हिच हैज वन द वर्ल्ड कप, इतनी हिस्ट्री के बाद, राइट? 1930 में वर्ल्ड कप चालू हुआ था, उसके बाद भी। So I just always feel, you know, it's very tough to make inroads into a team sport. China
Yeah,
is
but
also a good
you
example,
are
right?
you are looking only at a single point of country winning the World Cup, there is a ocean below that as well, right? Which also indicates you the progress of a
So हाँ
particular
so
country.
हाँ so मैं but I'm saying that
Just the
only कि
champion can't be an example to it.
हाँ बट आई एम सेइंग प्रोग्रेसिंग इज पॉसिबल बट आई एम सेइंग गेटिंग टू द टॉप. अब जैसे क्रिकेट में भी अफगानिस्तान है, came out of nowhere, you know, they were in the playing in the fifth division, and within like 5 7 years, you know, they challenged the top teams right now, at least in, you know, T20 and one days, not yet in test, but they had a meteoric rise, right? लेकिन वो meteoric rise भी मतलब वो उधर 10 12 के पास आके रुक जाता है, उसके आगे
हाँ, वो
जाना
कल्चरली तो
बहुत टफ
मतलब
है.
it has
हाँ.
to come culturally also. That's how you reach at the top. But like, what do you think? I mean, it's an interesting topic to start with. Cricket, obviously, we are there very much culturally. Grassroots are super
हम्म,
strong. There is so much money involved. So everything points towards us being the elite team. But why can't we do better in other team sports?
so
Hockey, again, somewhat of an exception because culturally, historically, we've been there.
नहीं, so I'll tell you. So मेरी थियरी हमेशा रही है कि imagine a school kid who's playing, let's say, inter school cricket or inter school football. Okay, you're either playing inter school cricket, you're playing inter school football, whatever. There's a kid who really loves cricket. He's playing inter school cricket. This kid is actually dreaming of playing the IPL or playing for India. Okay, now you consider another kid who's playing inter school football. He really loves football, but is he dreaming to play for the Indian national team? Because at the end of the day, the Indian national team is not as aspirational as the cricket team is aspirational, because eventually they are what, world number 80, world number 90. You feel like football में उतना पैसा नहीं है, you feel like उतना glory नहीं है जितना cricket में है. So that kid who really loves football, he'll play till like college, but he's not as serious about taking football as a serious career, because it's a team sport and there's always a justification कि okay मैं बहुत अच्छा हूँ तो भी मेरे साथ 10 लोग और अच्छे होने चाहिए, कहाँ से आएंगे?
But
क्रिकेट में वो
I
नहीं
don't
है.
know.
मतलब
ठीक है,
एटलीस्ट
that
दैट्स
could
व्हाट
be
आई
a
फेल्ट.
valid reason, but it's like a very high level of generalization, right? Considering the demographics we have in our country, you
हाँ वो
might
तो.
be talking from a urban kid's perspective,
या
not
ट्रू.
necessarily a rural kid will sort of think about it. And secondly, when you were talking about this, I was actually thinking of Brazil's example. ठीक है? Let's try and draw parallel with Brazil. Brazil, maybe every kid will almost, you know, grow up dreaming about being a footballer, right?
या
Would you agree?
या
Does not mean Brazil does not do better at other team sports. They're fantastic at volleyball. They've been Olympic champion in volleyball,
नहीं नहीं, so
and I think they,
I'm not saying that way, right? I'm not comparing one sport versus the other sport, because eventually you have a lot of population, you have
hmm,
enough people who can go into all sports. I'm just looking at individual sport कि एक स्पोर्ट में if you like really love the sport and you are really playing it in school, you your coaches are telling you you have talent, etc., are you dreaming of, you know, playing that sport at the international level or at the elite level? If a tennis player is doing that because he's an individual, tennis player is dreaming about that. ठीक है, there are lots of considerations, you know, cost
yeah,
and
yeah.
all that and everything. लेकिन टेनिस प्लेयर ये नहीं सोच रहा है कि मेरी टीम कहाँ से आएगी. फुटबॉल वाला मतलब फुटबॉल प्लेयर के लिए आई थिंक द ड्रीम कैन बी कि मे बी आई कैन गेट इनटू अ लिवरपूल और आई कैन गेट इनटू एन आर्सेनल,
I
दैट
think
कैन बी द
to
ड्रीम.
yeah, I get it. What you are talking about is at the bottom level. That the problem lies at the bottom level. That grassroots pay culturally, not many people know that okay, they can make a career out of sports outside of
हाँ
cricket
हाँ,
also.
वही मतलब
But
संदीप
मेरे
इज
लिए
पॉइंटिंग आउट कि आईएसएल में भी फुटबॉलर्स को भी बहुत पैसा मिलता है, एंड या ओके दैट्स फाइन, अब मिलता है.
मतलब मेरे लिए the bigger issue in my opinion is always that it's a top down problem,
ओके.
that none of the administration we have in team sports is good enough, are professional enough, are competitive enough, competent enough to have that vision कि किसी एक sport को grow कैसे किया जाए. And it's a sad situation because presently our demographics are so strong कि अगर कोई systematically उसको उसमें पैसा डाले स्पोर्ट्स में और उसको ग्रो करे राइट फ्रॉम ग्रास रूट्स टिल एलीट लेवल. आई डोंट नो, आई कैन सिट हियर एंड टॉक बट इट्स नॉट दैट ग्रेट ऑफ अ चैलेंज एज वेल. बट यहाँ पे हर एक एडमिन में वही पॉलिटिक्स के चक्कर में, इलेक्शंस के चक्कर में, करप्शन के चक्कर में, दैट इज वेयर वी लूज आउट.
हाँ आई मीन ठीक है, यू कैन टॉक अबाउट कॉम्पिटेंसी, पैसा वाइज तो आई थिंक एटलीस्ट फुटबॉल में रिलायंस ने डाला है काफी, बट
मतलब
हाँ
एवरीथिंग हैज
कॉम्पिटेंसी
टू
इज
कम
डिफरेंट
टुगेदर,
या।
नो?
हाँ नहीं
बाकी
आई
स्पोर्ट्स में इंडिविजुअल ब्रिलियंस पे बैंक करके वी स्टिल गो हेड, बट
या
टीम स्पोर्ट्स में यू कांट डू दैट।
हाँ वही प्रॉब्लम है। एंड आई एम ऑल्सो जस्ट टॉकिंग फ्रॉम माई एक्सपीरियंस, मतलब मैं जब एटलीस्ट स्कूल में था सिचुएशन यही थी, देयर वर अ लॉट मोर किड्स इन माई स्कूल हु लव्ड फुटबॉल देन दे लव्ड क्रिकेट। मतलब द फुटबॉल टीम ऑफ द स्कूल वाज मे बी मोर एस्पिरेशनल देन द क्रिकेट टीम।
Yeah,
लेकिन
but that's like Kapil,
हाँ वेरी अर्बन, हाँ आई
Bombay
एग्री
can't be reflective of Indian
yeah
demographic, na?
that completely agreed and it varies from place to place, and India is very huge, but it is at least what I saw in my school के फुटबॉल टीम में सबको घुसना है, लेकिन नन ऑफ देम इज थिंकिंग कि भैया मैं बड़ा होके इंडियन टीम के लिए फुटबॉल खेलूंगा। क्रिकेट
Hmm.
वाले सोच रहे हैं, फुटबॉल वाले नहीं सोच रहे। सो एनीवेज ठीक है, वी गॉट डाइवर्टेड, लेट्स कम बैक टू द टॉपिक।
No, but yeah, very interesting topic and actually मतलब हम लोग इतना ज़्यादा सोचते नहीं है, बट काफ़ी अंडरलाइंग प्रॉब्लम्स हैं एंड आई डोंट नो हाउ दोज विल गेट रिजॉल्व या क्या उसका परमानेंट सॉल्यूशन है, बट या इट्स अ लॉन्ग लॉन्ग वे फॉर अस टू गो कल्चरली एक स्पोर्टिंग नेशन बनने में।
Yeah, I mean,
ठीक
at
है
least I can say at least I don't know culturally about a sporting nation, but I can say at least from football, my hope is कि अगर फुटबॉल में कभी रेवोल्यूशन आएगा, it will happen when one or two players get to an Barcelona or an Arsenal or a Liverpool or whatever. And I'm not talking about
ना
जैसे गुरप्रीत सिंह संधू playing in the second league or whatever. If मतलब we need that Didier Drogba, मैंने हमेशा बोला है
ना
कि
आई डोंट थिंक सो,
हाँ
लाइक टीम स्पोर्ट में आई डोंट थिंक, तो आई डोंट थिंक सो दैट्स गोइंग टू बी अ that's going to be of high significance. Individual sports में होता है, like Neeraj is obviously the best example कि
yeah
how a one athlete performing can have a trickle down effect. But yeah, I think it's a good segue to get into
नीरज
talking about Neeraj as well.
yeah I
You
think
wanna
that was
start?
yeah I think that was eventually the trigger of the stream, right? हम लोग कब से कर रहे हैं कि स्ट्रीम करें नहीं करें, क्या बात करेंगे। या पीपल आर रियली बैशिंग माय फुटबॉल नॉलेज विच इज ट्रू गाइस, मैं नहीं देखता ज़्यादा। और मतलब वैभव के पास एटलीस्ट नॉलेज है बाय वाचिंग इंग्लिश फुटबॉल एंड स्टफ, मैं तो वो भी नहीं
No,
देखता।
I actually don't know about Indian football quite a lot. मेरे को इंग्लिश प्रीमियर लीग और चैंपियंस लीग के बारे में ही पता है,
हम्म,
honestly.
हाँ तो ठीक है। सो या नीरज चोपड़ा ऑब्वियसली बिग मोमेंट। मतलब मुझे तो एटलीस्ट वही फीलिंग आई थी जो मैंने ट्वीट मारा था कि द लास्ट टाइम आई थिंक सच अ ह्यूज एंटिसिपेटरी मोमेंट, मतलब अ मोमेंट विच वाज सो एंटिसिपेटेड रिसेंट टाइम्स में, मेरा तो कंपैरिजन वो सचिन की 100 सेंचुरी से ही था। आई डोंट थिंक देयर हैज बीन एनी अदर लैंडमार्क विच हैज बीन सो एंटिसिपेटेड इन इंडियन स्पोर्ट।
I know, I saw that tweet of yours. Yes.
तो तुझे कुछ और लगा? कैन यू थिंक ऑफ समथिंग एल्स, और डू यू थिंक कि ज्यादा हो गया मे बी?
हाँ मतलब आई ऑल्सो द थॉट ऑल्सो केम टू माई माइंड, बट माई इमीडिएट रिएक्शन वाज ऑल्सो कि बहुत ज्यादा हो गया ये, बिकॉज 90 मीटर ऑलमोस्ट 50 लोगों ने किया है, 100 इज वेरी वेरी एक्सक्लूसिव।
हाँ नहीं नहीं, आई एम टॉकिंग जस्ट अबाउट एंटिसिपेशन, मतलब द इंडियन पब्लिक वेटिंग फॉर दैट
हाँ,
लैंडमार्क।
दैट वे इज ट्रू,
या आई एम
ट्रू
नॉट
ट्रू,
टॉकिंग अबाउट अचीवमेंट
एब्सोल्युटली।
लेवल, डेफिनेटली नॉट। जस्ट द
या agree.
एंटिसिपेशन कि ये कब आएगा कब आएगा। जैसे 100 सेंचुरी में भी वही हुआ, राइट? मतलब पहले आ गई होती तो ठीक था, बट सचिन गॉट 99 एंड देवर लाइक अ कपल ऑफ इयर्स बिफोर ही गॉट द 100 सेंचुरी। तो दैट 2 years में दी एंटिसिपेशन केप्ट बिल्डिंग। और यहाँ पे
Hmm.
भी यही हुआ, नीरज चोपड़ा का 90 मीटर वी आर वेटिंग, मतलब एटलीस्ट द एंटायर नेशन इज वेटिंग सिंस टोक्यो। टोक्यो के पहले जो लोग फॉलो करते थे नहीं करते थे इट्स डिफरेंट, बट एटलीस्ट एवरीबडी फॉलोज हिम आफ्टर टोक्यो। इफ यू फॉलो स्पोर्ट यू फॉलो नीरज चोपड़ा आफ्टर टोक्यो एटलीस्ट। सो टोक्यो
Yeah.
से लेके वही 4 साल का एंटिसिपेशन है कि कब आएगा कब आएगा कब आएगा। एंड बोथ ऑफ देम सॉर्ट ऑफ केम बिट नॉन डिस्क्रिप्ट वे। तेंदुलकर का भी बांग्लादेश के साथ में आया था इन अ मैच विच वी इवेंचुअली लॉस्ट,
Okay.
and Neeraj also got it in a situation where he still ended up second, and that too second to another guy who also got 90 for the first
Yeah,
time.
that
It's
was
not like
interesting.
he lost to someone expected.
Yeah. एक्चुअली मेरा रिएक्शन यही था कि आई फेल्ट लाइक गुड रिडेंस, चलो हमेशा के लिए वंस
हाँ
एंड फॉर ऑल इट्स बीन साइडलाइन नाउ, नो मोर टॉक्स अबाउट 90, अपना जस्ट वॉच हिम एंजॉय हिज थ्रोज एंड फोकस ऑन व्हाट ही इज अचीविंग। 90 का इतना ज्यादा वो हाइप अप हो गया था ना, दैट आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग इरिटेटेड honestly about it, and yeah, definitely it was a big deal, like you said. If PM Modi himself is tweeting about it, and the entire cabinet ministry is tweeting about it, so
अरे
has to be big deal.
ये आज वो आजकल कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं लगती मुझे, बट
वो भी
ठीक है,
यहाँ
उसको
बात सही है।
उसको छोड़ो। बट या बट मेरा आई थिंक फर्स्ट रिएक्शन वो था, मतलब सी आई एम नॉट एज इरिटेटेड एज यू हैव बीन, मेनली बिकॉज आई फील कि इट इज समथिंग विच हैज बीन डन बाय नीरज हिमसेल्फ। इट्स नॉट लाइक कि मीडिया वाले ही सिर्फ 90 बोलते रहते हैं, ही हिमसेल्फ हैज टॉक्ड अबाउट 90 अ लॉट।
अरे
नॉट
बट इफ दे आर क्वेश्चनिंग हिम अबाउट 90, he is obviously going to talk about
नहीं नहीं, बट
90, no?
एटलीस्ट दैट्स माई फीलिंग, मे बी यू कैन से इन लेटर ईयर्स ही वांटेड टू गेट अवे फ्रॉम इट, बट शुरू में उसने काफी बोला है कि एंड मतलब ही कैन ऑलवेज से कि आई डोंट केयर अबाउट 90, आई एम जस्ट विनिंग, व्हिच ही इज बीन सेइंग इन लेटर ईयर्स। बट शुरू में ही हिमसेल्फ हैज सेड कि आई एम रियली सर्चिंग फॉर दैट 90, आई रियली वांट दैट 90।
Which is understandable also. Like when you are a
हाँ
kid
मतलब
or
ही इज बीन,
youngster in the sport, so
he
obviously you aspire
yeah,
to
he
cross
said the
90.
truth rather than the media trained version, so he gave the truth कि he cares about it। तो उसके वजह से आई वाज नॉट दैट इरिटेटेड, और मेरा तो मेन फर्स्ट फीलिंग ये था, ठीक है अब तोड़ दिया, नाउ इज इट गोना बी अ रॉजर बैनिस्टर थिंग और इज इट गोना बी अ वन ऑफ? बिकॉज आई वो मतलब फॉर दोज हु डोंट नो, बाय द वे, रॉजर बैनिस्टर वाज द गाय who was the first person to complete the mile in under 4
Within
minutes।
under 4 minutes, yeah.
एंड व्हेन जब हुआ था तब इट वाज अ ह्यूज डील कि इट्स लाइक, इज इट पॉसिबल फॉर अ ह्यूमन टू कंप्लीट अ माइल इन अंडर 4 minutes? एंड लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैड रिटन ऑफ कि इट इज इम्पॉसिबल फॉर द ह्यूमन बॉडी टू गो थ्रू अ माइल इन लेस देन 4 minutes। सो व्हेन रॉजर बैनिस्टर डिड इट, इट वाज अ बिग डील। लेकिन एक बार जब हुआ तब देन लाइक 15 लोग अगले 2 साल या 3 साल में कर चुके थे। इट वाज लाइक, आई डोंट नो द एग्जैक्ट नंबर्स, बट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल देन फॉलोड हिम। You
Hmm.
can say in a way it's also like that one day 200, इतने साल लगे for Sachin to get the first one, but उसके बाद you have got like eight, I don't know what, 8 900s after that in like in the few years that's happened since the Sachin 200। So I was
Yeah.
hoping कि वो बार अब 90 hit हो गया है तो will he keep hitting it again, or is it gonna be a one off? What is your
He
feeling?
he could have in the very next week on Saturday in his own NC Classic event in Bangalore, which
बट
got cancelled.
नहीं नहीं, बट वो नहीं नहीं, एक मिनट, अगर बट वो एनसी क्लासिक होता तो फिर वो दोहा जा नहीं रहा था। He went to Doha, after that got cancelled।
No, no, it was pre-planned only that he would have participated in Doha, and then he would have flown back to India, participated in NC Classic. So वो पहले से pre-planned था,
अच्छा ठीक
आ
है,
चुका था उसका program.
ठीक है,
But
तू
yeah,
बोल
yeah,
रहा है तो ओके। आई
unfortunate.
थॉट आई थॉट इट वाज द अदर वे कि ही वेंट ओनली आफ्टर इट गॉट कैंसल्ड।
Okay, I don't know. I mean, I just
व्हाटएवर,
remembered it
ठीक है
this
हाँ।
way, whichever is the case. But yeah, like I think there is a change in coach also. So obviously, some bit of technique is has also changed. You set in a new belief system as well. That ठीक है, Yesni is there with you. He's been a role model, inspiration for Neeraj. So yeah, we don't have a lot of sample size. एक ही event हुए अभी दो हो गए हैं actually. The second one obviously the conditions were not that great and he ended up with 84 or something. उसमें भी second ही आया after Weber.
सेकंड वाला कौन सा था? आई थिंक आई गेस मिस्ड इट।
Some European meet only.
अच्छा
I think
मिस्ड इट,
it's been
ओके।
a few days. Yeah, ज़्यादा hype up नहीं हुई थी. So yeah, but I think yeah, like in my opinion तो क्या, my prediction, we are obviously going to see a lot of 90 plus throws now, because wo, like you're quoting Roger Bannister's example, right? It once the ceiling gets shattered,
शैटर्ड हाँ।
so it's the belief which works for you. Simple.
हाँ, सो या दैट इज आल्सो माय होप कि अब एक बार हो गया, सो इट होपफुली हैपेंस अगेन एंड अगेन।
Yeah,
एंड इफ
yeah.
इट
But
हैपेंस
out.
अगेन, हाँ बोल।
Go on, continue.
Yeah, and I'm saying if it happens again and again, then hopefully these seconds can also turn into first, because been a lot of seconds recently.
Hmm.
There's that record which always keeps coming. Ke I think 2021 से या somewhere he's never finished outside top three. Top three maybe like दो
Yeah,
event है where he was third. उसके अलावा it's always first or second. But वो
yeah.
first और second में second बढ़े जा रहे हैं जो पहले first हुआ करते थे।
Hmm. हाँ ठीक है, वो तो देखते हैं. इज बैक टू टोक्यो नाउ सितंबर में वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में. दैट्स वेयर इट ऑल स्टार्टेड फॉर हिम एट द हाईएस्ट लेवल. तो देखते हैं कैसा आ जाता है वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप. बट या आउटसाइड ऑफ नीरज ऑब्वियसली देयर इज मच टू टॉक अबाउट इन
रुक
इंडियन
रुक,
ट्रैक एंड फील्ड.
बिफोर गोइंग आउटसाइड ऑफ नीरज आई हैव टू शो दिस ऑब्वियसली। इसके बिना नीरज का डिस्कशन खत्म नहीं होता है। तो
अबे तू
1 साल से देखे नहीं है, देख लो
I mean,
वापस।
you won't miss any chance to show off, huh?
नहीं नहीं, ये वाला शॉट बना के रखा है, ये कभी जाएगा नहीं। एंड एंड या
Well,
बिफोर। हाँ।
by the way, I have another one added to it just for your information from Paris.
अच्छा, दे फिर, दिया नहीं तूने, डाल देता हूँ उधर।
मतलब पेरिस में जब वो सिल्वर जीता तब भी तो आई आई गॉट द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू
हाँ,
क्लिक अ
तुझे मिल
सेल्फी।
गया तो दे ना, मुझे तो दिखाई नहीं तूने। तेरे को मे भी इसी डर से कि मैं बार बार दिखाता रहूंगा।
हाँ मतलब ठीक है।
ठीक है, फॉर नेक्स्ट टीम के पहले तू दे रहा है मुझे वो।
एक्चुअली मैंने ये चीज मेंशन की थी, इट वाजंट अबाउट द सेल्फी इन पेरिस, इट वाज अबाउट हिम कमिंग टू अस
हाँ
विदाउट इवन अस आस्किंग, हिमसेल्फ एक्नॉलेजिंग कि आज थोड़ा सा कम रह गया कसर।
हाँ,
बेसिकली
आई
हरियाणा में
रिमेम्बर।
यू से दिस वर्ड दैट आज कसर थोड़ी सी रह गई एंड दैट्स व्हाट ही सेड। तो या लाइक ऑब्वियसली ही इज अ स्पेशल
स्पेशल।
स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन दैट वी हैव had.
या एंड द फाइनल थिंग बिफोर वी मूव ऑन, तू जा रहा है बैंगलोर एनसी क्लासिक?
नहीं नहीं, सो लास्ट टाइम तो आई वाज देयर फॉर वर्क सो आई कुड हैव अटेंडेड इट, टिकट्स भी मैंने बुक कर ली थी, बट ऐसे स्पेशली तो ऑब्वियसली आई वोंट गो।
हाँ, मैंने भी सोचा, लेकिन फिर मेरा भी नहीं बैठ रहा था। एनीबडी इन द चैट बाय द वे गोइंग, कोई जा रहा है तो
या
बताओ।
वुड बी इंटरेस्टिंग।
हाँ, और किसी को
यस।
अगर सेल्फी वेल्फी मिले तो हम लोग से शेयर करना, यहाँ भी दिखा देंगे, तुम्हारी भी दिखा देंगे। हाँ।
ऑलराइट।
अच्छा, सो एशियन
हम्म।
एथलेटिक्स देन नेक्स्ट।
हाँ, हैव यू बीन फॉलोइंग वाचिंग?
Yeah, I watched. I think I started from like maybe the second day, but yeah, I watched most of it. Asian
हम्म
athletics. Dhire dhire I got into it, and I watched most of it. And I think we did pretty well. I'm not too sure about the level of competition. My guess is that a lot of the top Asians were not there, but you
हम्म
can you can tell me better. I'm not too sure
हम्म
about the level of competition, but yeah, in general, I think it was a overall काफी अच्छा गया. गुलवीर सिंह did well, अविनाश सेबल did well. मतलब
या
सेबल क्यों बोल रहा हूँ मैं, साबले did well. हमेशा सेबल बोलता हूँ मैं. Jyoti Araji was a highlight. Tejaswin was pointing out the young high jump girl Pooja.
पूजा सिंह या।
Unfortunately, उसका event आया नहीं. Otherwise, I think she would have become a much bigger star by now.
हम्म
Unfortunately, उसका event बिल्कुल भी नहीं आया. So that was a problem. But yeah, overall, I think it pretty much went pretty well.
हम्म।
Maybe a few more silvers could have been turned into gold, but that's being greedy. Overall, I
Yeah,
think it
that's
went pretty
okay. I
well.
mean, color of medal does not matter, especially at this level of event, right? So, and like you said, obviously, most of the Asian elites were not there, but athletics में it's always easy to still gauge on the performance कि आपके पास timing and
Hmm.
measurements रहते हैं, so you can still see where your athletes are performing at. And actually, आज सुबह ही because we had to do this stream, I was thinking कि पिछली जो साइकिल थी बिफोर पेरिस
Hmm.
एंड अभी एथलेटिक्स में ऑब्वियसली there's so much of talks and news around athletics, but how much of it is actually changing for us, वो पिन पॉइंट करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है ना, बिकॉज यू परसीव थिंग्स ओनली एट हाई लेवल की हाइप बन रही है, रीसेंसी बायस आ जाता है एंड देन यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग दैट एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग रियली वेल इन इंडियन एथलेटिक्स। मैं एक्चुअली यही सोच रहा था एंड इट माइट साउंड वेरी कंसल्टिंग फ्रेमवर्क टाइप, बट तू खुद देख, लेट मी जस्ट ब्रेक इट डाउन और सिंप्लीफाई इट इनटू अ वेरी सिंपल बेसिक पिरामिड, ओके? there are three layers to this pyramid. I'm just going to compare पिछली cycle versus where we stand as of now. There are three layers to the pyramid. The topmost layer is elite layer, basically all the medal contenders that you have who are capable of winning a medal at World Championship or Olympics. Your second layer is, let's call it competitive, where you have your athletes who are good enough to be at world level but far off from winning a medal, okay?
Let's say capable of getting to the finals or the top 10, top 12.
Let's say who are capable of qualifying for world championship or
Okay,
Olympics,
qualifying, ठीक है.
because even the world championship or Olympic standards are pretty high these days, right? So in order to meet those standards also you need to be a world class athlete. Then the third layer is the basic layer or foundational layer where the athletes which are national champions, maybe even national record holders, they've been breaking those records, but just are not good enough, and yet good enough at continental level, maybe Asian level, but not good enough at the elite level. Okay. Now, if we talk about all of these three layers, the very first layer, which is the elite layer, I think that is where we have sort of dipped, or is the biggest question mark for us. पिछले बार मतलब पेरिस तक तू किन लोगों को बोलता, किन एथलीट्स को बोलता दैट दीज आर आर टॉप मेडल कंटेंडर्स एट वर्ल्ड लेवल, बेसिकली टॉप 5? इट वाज ऑब्वियसली नीरज,
I mean,
श्रीशंकर.
honestly, yeah, I mean, honestly, if you ask me, मेरे लिए तो एक नीरज ही रहा है right through. The others
आई थिंक
also, the
in
others
in
also.
one of the stream also we talked about that. Largely it was the consensus that couple Neeraj, Sable and Sri Shankar would be the three most elite, because Sable, when he won the Asian Games, and then when he won the Commonwealth Games, he obviously got very hyped up, right? And then he broke national record also a couple of times after that, so there were very high hopes from him. Yeah,
हाँ बट
please go on.
हाँ बट मेरा हमेशा से यही रहा है कि मतलब इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट विनिंग मेडल्स एट द वर्ल्ड लेवल, मतलब वर्ल्ड लेवल वुड बी योर वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप और ओलंपिक्स, मुझे हमेशा लगा इट्स ओनली बिन नीरज, श्री शंकर एंड साबले, दे आर लाइक केपेबल एज आई वाज सेइंग ऑफ गेटिंग टू द फाइनल, सो दैट वुड बी
Hmm.
लाइक टॉप 10 टॉप 12, मे बी अगर किस्मत अच्छी रही तो 6 7th आ जाएंगे, समवेयर देयर. I never, at least I never got the feeling that they had a chance of top 3. Maybe Sri
Hmm.
Shankar if he has a really really good day. Sable ke to jo timings wise if you have seen, generally you expect कि okay 7th 8th is good enough for him.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you are
So
not
yeah, like
expecting top 3.
there
So
was some perception that Sable is maybe a middle contender
but
for
मेरे को
you,
मतलब
possibly.
but I always thought it was hype only. मतलब at least for
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah. Chal
हाँ.
theek hai. Even if it was hype, but that thing is pretty clear now that he's not good enough to be a world medalist or a Olympic medalist, because even if he's dipping down 8-10, right? 8 minute tak bhi aa jata hai. I still don't believe
Hmm.
after watching him so much that he has self belief or confidence also that he could win a world championship or a Olympic medal. At least that's what my opinion is. So
Yeah.
Sable is outlined.
Hmm.
Sri Shankar, there is a big question mark on him
Yeah,
right
वो
now.
राइट नाउ तो इंजरी से वापस आएगा फिर क्या होगा, इट्स अ
Correct,
लॉन्ग रोड. हाँ.
correct, correct. So Sri Shankar is nowhere in the picture as of now. Maybe after this Asian Athletics Championship, what you can say is on the borderline, you can say maybe Sachin Yadav, because he has thrown above 85, but it's just one international event we are talking about, right? So,
Yeah.
like a bleak maybe. So,
Yeah, I mean,
ultimately, आपके as of now, Neeraj and maybe partially Sachin बचे. जबकि पिछली साइकिल में you had this confidence that maybe there could be three athletes who could get you a medal. So वहां पे there has been a proper change. Yes, go on.
yeah, I mean, okay, I will disagree. I don't think बहुत ज़्यादा change है. First of all, I mean, if you're talking Sachin Yadav, जैसे तू बोला, he's thrown like 85, 86 once, right? So if you're talking about people who have thrown 85, 86 once, we have had too many people in the past. We have had Kishore Jena, we have had
Mhm.
DP Mannu, we have had Shivpal Yadav.
Yeah,
तीन
yeah.
तो तीन
So
तो
I'm
याद
not
ही हैं.
discounting or disagreeing on that.
नहीं नहीं, बट आई एम सेइंग कि मतलब इफ यू आर काउंटिंग सचिन यादव तो तब वी हैड अ किशोर जैन एज वेल. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग.
हाँ, like Kishore is in the past, right?
हाँ,
So
सो मतलब
tab
हाँ,
maybe we had started counting him as well after Asian Games or
एग्जैक्टली
what he
हाँ.
did in Budapest World Championship. Could
हाँ.
be. So
हाँ, तो मैं
three or
वही
four before, but now it's just purely Neeraj.
हाँ.
Can we just say that?
या बट एज आई वाज सेइंग मेरे को आई डिडंट इवन फील श्री शंकर एंड साबले वर मेडल कंटेंडर्स इवन देन. सो
Yeah, ठीक है. I'm
दैट इज
talking
द
about a
माय
larger
डिफरेंस.
consensus. I'm talking about larger consensus from talking to other people or what the general chatter was on Twitter,
ठीक है,
right?
यू कैन
So
से
based
दैट
on
मे बी.
that, yeah.
हाँ.
Now let's, हाँ,
नहीं
देखो
बट
और कुछ बोलना है इस पे?
नहीं मतलब उसमें द अदर थिंग यू कैन ऑलवेज जस्ट से इसके ओलंपिक्स इज 3 years अवे, तो वो भी एक फैक्टर है कि ठीक है, मतलब इवेंचुअली
Yeah,
यू
but
कंपेयर की
we can
गोइंग
only
इनटू.
talk about what's present situation,
हाँ
right?
नहीं, लेकिन
तो
मतलब वो साइकिल भी होता है राइट, लॉट जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल श्री शंकर इज इंजर्ड, ही इज आउट, सो व्हेन ही कम्स बैक व्हाट हैपेंस यू डोंट नो. लॉट ऑफ athletics में एटलीस्ट देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ टॉक अबाउट दिस पीकिंग एंड एवरीथिंग राइट. सो यू डोंट नो, मे बी सम अदर एथलीट्स माइट कम अप लेटर, बट या ऑनेस्टली मतलब मेरा पॉइंट वही है कि इफ यू टॉकिंग फ्रॉम माय पर्सपेक्टिव, मुझे पहले भी सिर्फ नीरज ही दिखता था, अभी भी सिर्फ नीरज ही दिखता है. तो मुझे इतना डिफरेंस लगता नहीं है ऑनेस्टली।
चलो ठीक है, ठीक
हम्म।
है, तो मे बी मार्जिनली थोड़ा सा वहां पे बट डिप ही हुआ है।
हाँ,
दैट्स द
बोल सकते हो।
ओवरऑल पॉइंट, ठीक है।
हम्म।
नाउ यू मूव ऑन टू द सेकंड लेयर ऑफ द pyramid, which is what I'm saying, the contenders who could qualify for worlds or Olympics.
हम्म।
And that is where I think things are
इम्प्रूवमेंट।
changing rapidly. There is a very very good momentum and काफी
हम्म।
dynamic फेज है वो, बिकॉज वहां पे यू हैव सम ऑफ द कोर इवेंट्स जो आपके होते ही हैं, योर ट्रिपल जंपर्स आर देयर, यू नो, योर ज्योति आरा जी इज देयर, योर साबले इज देयर, योर पारुल चौधरीज आर देयर, राइट, ऑल ऑफ दीज आर देयर।
हम्म।
बट नाउ थोड़ा सा you can you start talking about Animesh Kujur coming into it, ठीक
ओके।
है, obviously not nearly at the world elite level, but he has the potential to qualify for a world championship or a Olympic, which is like a totally new, you know, event. Then you have, I don't know, Pooja Singh. She
सो
had a PB
दिस इज
at
द
189,
हाई जंप पूजा,
the high
राइट?
jumper, yes.
हाँ, क्योंकि दो पूजा थी, राइट? एक पूजा कोई 1500 एंड 800 में भी आई थिंक शी वन टू सिल्वर्स।
Correct, correct.
हम्म।
So Pooja Singh coming into the picture, you would assume that she's on a progressive curve. 189 can get converted into 192, which is good enough to qualify. Gulveer Singh breaking his own national record in 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter. So you have these new events which you can focus on, and then your Praveen Chitravel, Abu Bakar, ये सब हैं.
वो सब तो है,
Sable, I
काफी
think
टाइम
I
से है, हाँ।
spoke about. Your relay squad is perennially there, which will fall under this category only. So ultimately, like you said, some of the athletes peak towards world championship and Olympics. So by the time it comes to world championship Olympics, the relay teams will obviously be there. So that is pretty much an exciting space. And I would say bottom पे भी अगर तू देखेगा, there are quite a few events which are coming up newly, which we haven't been known to perform in, you know, पहले. For instance, pole vault में देव मीना हो गया,
हम्म।
still far off from the world level, but now at least we are talking about 5 meter and 40, which is continental level पे still a top 5 or a top 6 thing, top
ओके।
5 top 6 mark. Could you ever imagine 5 6 years before that we would be talking about a pole vault event in Indian athletics? No. 4 by 100 squad, right? Like a good medal contender at continental level. And who knows, if things click, they can maybe qualify for a world championship, not this one, maybe the next one. So there are these new crop of events which are coming up, and basically there are diversification हो रहा है,
हो रहा है।
and the base is setting up really nicely. The momentum is there. At least that's how I see it. So थोड़ा slow progression है, momentum is there, but yeah, what we really need to talk about from a Olympic standpoint is what's changing in the elite level, जहाँ पे कुछ नहीं हो रहा है.
ठीक है, I mean, I'll defer to you on that second level because honestly, the feeling I get is always when once you come to this एशियन गेम्स का जब बिल्डअप हो रहा होता है, एशियन गेम्स में हमेशा हमारा बिल्डअप ऐसा ही जाता है कि न्यू पीपल आर कमिंग, मे बी दे कैन डू समथिंग। एशियन गेम्स में हमेशा हमारे मेडल काफ़ी आते हैं, एंड देन उसके बाद फिर जाके कुछ होता नहीं है। एंड ऑनेस्टली फॉर मी, आई एम नॉट दैट वेल वर्स्ड विथ कंपेयरिंग द टाइम्स एंड सीइंग कि आर दे वर्ल्ड क्लास
So
टाइम्स और नॉट, सो आई डिफर
वही
टू यू ऑन दैट। हाँ।
वही इसीलिए नहीं होते ना, इफ यू थिंक ऑफ इट दिस वे, because none of these people are in the elite stage of pyramid, so you measure your own expectation that way, that they will remain in stage 2 and
हम्म।
not in stage 1.
हम्म।
So they are meant to be in stage 2, simple.
हाँ ठीक है, नहीं मतलब स्टेज टू ऑल्सो इज इम्प्रूविंग, आई डिफर टू यू ऑन दैट
Improving in terms of volume for sure.
वन।
अब वहां पे कोई एक एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी इंडिविजुअल ब्रिलियंस के बेस पे, if someone performs, becomes consistent, someone like a Sri Shankar, someone like a Sachin Yadav, who many people are saying that, you know, he's still to improve quite a lot. He's not in the best physical shape also, maybe that is where a room for improvement is.
एशियन पे
So
भी
you
सिक्स
never
थ्रो में ही
know.
मारा ना, आई थिंक 5 थ्रो में कुछ नहीं किया, छठे थ्रो में ही गॉट द
Correct.
सिल्वर। उसके पहले तो आई थिंक ही
Yeah.
वाज व्हाट रनिंग फोर्थ फिफ्थ समथिंग लाइक दैट।
Yeah.
ठीक
So
है।
yeah, I think, मतलब मुझे अच्छा लगा कि going forward, at least personally, I am going to follow it with this perspective that उससे थोड़ी सी चीजें क्लियर हो जाती हैं, and you set your own expectation also that ways. But yeah, track and field presently
Hmm.
is one of the most exciting Olympic sport that we have. You
अच्छा
will have to agree on that.
अच्छा you can give some numbers, मतलब do you know last time कितने qualify हुए थे and इस बार how many are hoping somewhere, या you?
Yes, I can actually. So अगर तू एक barometer देखेगा, so you count in the number of athletes which are qualifying for a world championship year on year. Okay,
Hmm.
so the numbers usually have been 20, 22, 23, 24.
That
We
includes the relay athletes, right?
that includes the relay athletes totality collective squad आपका. Budapest, we had the highest number of athletes qualifying, which was 28.
Okay.
And this time in Tokyo, or maybe if not Tokyo, the next World Championship, we are easily going to cross 30 or maybe around 35.
तो 28 to 30 तो इज सिमिलर ओनली, 35 क्रॉस
क्रॉस
होता है।
30
हाँ
बोल रहा हूँ
वही,
ना. सो
35 होता है तो कुछ बात है।
35 40, so that is where the gradual progression is coming in. So वो चीज है.
चैट में अंशुमन दास के कुछ क्वेश्चंस है, इफ यू वांट टू टेक एनी वन, कोई भी अगर लेना है। हाय,
Uh,
पूजा कैन बी अनदर, नीरज, अनुष्का यादव हैमर थ्रो, इफ
yeah,
यू वांट
I
टू टेक
think
एनीथिंग।
on Pooja, the only thing is, yeah, obviously, the biggest constraint for her is she's just 170 in terms of height,
हाइट, या हाँ ये मैंने भी
and
पढ़ा था।
that restricts her ceiling because we haven't had a lot of great female high jumpers who are this short and have been, doing very well at the top world elite level. So उसकी वहाँ ceiling है, but yeah, if I don't know how great a heptathlete she could be. There are speculations, and I think speculation kya her coach herself has said that they might want to go, for heptathlon also.
दिस
Basically,
दिस हैज टू
TJ
बी द,
model.
हाँ दिस हैज टू बी द टीजे इफेक्ट, राइट?
Yeah,
मतलब,
yeah, it is. It is.
और
He's
टीजे,
helping her out
हाँ
actually.
कर भी रहा था कि आई वाज वेरी इंप्रेस्ड विद पूजा एंड आल्सो ही इज बीन अ मेंटर फॉर हर, ही वाज द
Yeah,
हाई जंपर एंड शी इज द हाई
he is
जंपर।
playing that role. Yeah, 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 for sure.
मतलब वो टीजे को ही देख के उसने सोचा है, राइट, कि मैं हेप्टाथलिन में ट्राई करती हूँ। इट हैज टू
हाँ.
कम फ्रॉम देयर ओनली।
I think it won't be a surprise if he's actually sort of closely involved in her development also, and speaking to her coaches and kind of strategizing for her career progression कि हाँ ऐसा करते हैं वैसा करते हैं. Not a big deal.
एंड एनीथिंग अबाउट अनुष्का यादव हैमर थ्रो?
Yeah, no, I have
नो
no
क्लू।
idea. Yeah,
ओके।
but another gradual progression this reminded me of is, I don't know if you've heard or know about this. So even in NCAA, we used to have like one of athlete, ठीक है, TJ होता था, या उससे पहले में भी विकास गौड़ा is there. Currently, there is a bunch of athletes who are in NCAA, at least 7 or 8, if I can recall correctly. So even that ways, you'll see there is some small baby steps which are, Indian athletics is taking. So just another, indicator.
आई मीन ठीक है, एनसीडब्ल्यू के बाद तो आफ्टर परवेज खान आई एम वेरी डाइसी अबाउट दैट वन, बट ठीक है, ओके।
Yeah.
मतलब एनसीडब्ल्यू व्हेन यू मेंशन, मेरे को सिर्फ परवेज खान ही दिखता है, मुझे आगे और कुछ नहीं दिखता है उसके।
हाँ मतलब ठीक है, वो कांट डिस्काउंट दैट, बट ये भी दिखता है ना कि हाँ दे आर गेटिंग गुड एक्सपोजर, दे आर गेटिंग द बेस्ट ऑफ द कंपटीशन इन
मतलब
एथलेटिक्स.
एक्सपोजर के
एंड
साथ ड्रग्स ले रहे हैं तो क्या फायदा?
अब तू एक एग्जाम्पल को लेके जनरलाइज पूरा करेगा तो बाकी चीजें इग्नोर करके, सो
हाँ नहीं
आई
तो आई
मीन
एग्री,
डिपेंड्स हाउ
मतलब
यू लुक एट इट, राइट.
या आई एग्री, बट मुझे एटलीस्ट वही दिखता है जो विच आई एम टेलिंग यू, कि मतलब वहाँ पे
ठीक है.
टेस्टिंग बिल्कुल होती नहीं है, एटलीस्ट दैट्स द फीलिंग आई गॉट आफ्टर दैट थिंग, रीडिंग
हाँ
ऑन
वो तो
ट्विटर
नहीं
एंड।
होती है, इट्स एन एस्टैब्लिश्ड फैक्ट, नहीं होती है.
हाँ, सो फिर वहाँ पे जब टेस्टिंग नहीं होती है तो फिर माय अजम्पशन इज देन एवरीबॉडी इज डोपिंग, दैट इज माय अजम्पशन, तो फिर यहाँ आके कुछ नहीं होने वाला है। बट ठीक है, लेट्स सी, बिकॉज आई डिडंट नो दैट,
ठीक है.
आई टेल यू, आई डिडंट नो दैट बिफोर द परवेज खान केस कि वहाँ पे फ्रीली डोपिंग होती
या.
है। ठीक है।
ठीक है.
बिफोर
इनफ
मूविंग,
ऑफ एथलेटिक्स, वी कैन
अरशद
मूव ऑन.
नदीम का कुछ बात करना है, 1 मिनट।
मतलब क्या बात करना है?
मतलब आई जस्ट वांटेड टू आस्क, डिड ही compete only in one event in 2024?
No, I think he did compete before Olympics, like a couple of events, but
Yeah.
he did not compete after Olympics. And
अच्छा।
after Olympics, immediately Now Asian Athletics was his first international event. I don't know if he competed nationally, domestically or not.
डोमेस्टिकली तो पता नहीं, बट इंटरनेशनल भी मुझे एटलीस्ट, एंड एटलीस्ट ही डिडंट
ओलंपिक्स
कम्पीट
के
इन
बाद
एनी,
तो सीधा एशियन एथलेटिक्स
और
था।
ओलंपिक्स के पहले भी आई थिंक डायमंड लीग वायमंड लीग में तो कहीं कम्पीट किया
एक
नहीं
दो में था शायद।
था। ओके,
हम्म।
आई गॉट द फीलिंग कि 2024 में ही लिटरली कम्पीटेड इन जस्ट वन इवेंट which was the Olympics.
Like, call it out, no?
Everybody
Address the
knows what we are
elephant in the
saying यार,
room.
everybody knows
Address the
what we are
elephant
saying,
in the room.
हाँ,
Come on.
बट करेंगे क्या, पॉइंट वो है ना, एड्रेस करके हो क्या जाएगा, बट ठीक है,
Uh,
what is the solution, right? There is no solution ना उसका,
yeah.
बट द अदर काउंटर पॉइंट उसमें वही आता है कि मतलब यू नो कि पाकिस्तान हैज नो मनी, राइट, मतलब हॉकी टीम प्रो लीग नहीं खेलती है बिकॉज दे हैव नो मनी, so that could be the reason कि maybe it doesn't compete too much because it doesn't have the funds to travel, but I find it difficult to believe
I
कि
don't think so. That is
हाँ,
now the case because Olympics के बाद
ओलंपिक
clearly he's
गोल्ड
got a
के
lot
बाद,
of
हाँ, ओलंपिक
brands.
गोल्ड के बाद भी फंड्स नहीं है, तो यार इतना इतना गरीब भी नहीं है पाकिस्तान,
नहीं नहीं,
वो वाली।
ऐसा है ही नहीं. As a matter of fact, I can tell you, just Google, you'll get to know how much endorsements he's got after Olympics. Same thing, no? I mean, how it happens in India, the way it happened with Neeraj, वहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में भी होती है. I think Coke or something came as one of the first sponsors
हाँ,
for him, Coca-Cola.
कोक
So yeah, he's
एक्चुअली आ
got
जाता है पाकिस्तान में,
plenty of
बहुत चलता
brands.
है।
Yeah.
संदीप छेत्री इज ऑल्सो सेइंग ओलंपिक्स वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप एशियन गेम्स उसका यही है, बस इतना ही compete करेगा।
ठीक है. Which what do you want to pick next? आगे चलते हैं.
यू वांट टू गेट द बैड पार्ट आउट,
Which is
बैडमिंटन।
badminton. Yeah, like, ठीक है,
मतलब
we can talk about it.
मतलब ठीक है यार, आई मीन बैडमिंटन में ऑनेस्टली मतलब आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग टुडे ओनली, एंड आई वाज वंडरिंग इफ वी आर एट द worst point since China broke through.
We are, but why is it so surprising is what my question is also.
नहीं, सरप्राइजिंग की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, जस्ट डिसअपॉइंटेड की बात कर रहा हूँ, बहुत
Disappointment है,
हाँ,
but
एंड
ऐसा भी नहीं है कि it was, you couldn't see it coming.
नहीं नहीं ओके बट
You have all the right reasons that ये होना ही था. There were high chances of this happening.
बट
Yes, maybe Satvik Chirag getting so
हम्म
much injured and Satvik's own personal tragedy, that obviously was accidental and nobody saw them dipping down so much.
हम्म
But उनका भी देख लिया ना, it's just a matter of time. They still operate at a top, as a top 5 pair currently. But yeah, अगर तू silos में देखेगा, there's honestly nothing wrong.
हाँ नहीं मतलब आई वाज होपिंग दैट मे बी एटलीस्ट वंस ही गॉट टू फोर्थ मे बी लक्ष्य माइट डू अ लिटिल बेटर, मतलब ठीक है 2024 में तो खेले ही नहीं उसके बाद, बट तू भी वैभव सोनी का जोक देख रहा है, नाइस जोक देयर,
Yeah,
नाइस जोक
good one, Vaibhav.
देयर। So yeah, तो हाँ तो मतलब वो एक ओके लक्ष्य he didn't play much in 2024 but you expected कि once he got to fourth in Olympics maybe once he comes back he will give some hope, you always keep hoping कि maybe Sindhu will improve at some point, but yeah it's really
अभी
gone
क्या
down the
improve?
drain,
There's no scope of improvement, right? She's in a very
last
good
legs,
pace personally, and yeah, I think she herself feels that it's her last leg. So maybe she might sneak another medal in World Championship. You never know. Totally boils down on her motivation simply.
hmm.
The If she decides that she's driven enough, she wants to compete, then maybe you can still have another World Championship medal. But that's about it.
I mean do you think there's a problem in drive, because I don't think so because she's still competing a lot, he still
Yeah,
competes
but
a lot. It looks like she's giving it all her all on the court. It's
she is
just not
giving
happening.
she is giving her all. I'm not sort of discounting her commitment, but clearly whenever she has performed, whenever she has medaled, it has always been correlated with her motivational levels.
Okay.
That's at least what my theory is. And yeah, like, it's one of the reasons as well that she was never able to perform that great on the tour as
On the
well,
tour.
because you need exceptional motivation to compete back to back on, eh, I mean, in almost every event, right? which generally, I don't know, like Saina was an exception in this case, but I feel our badminton players are not meant for, uh, maintaining that consistent level of motivation that ठीक है हमें हर tour event में we need to take it as if we our life depends on it. They don't do that.
और आजकल टूर इवेंट भी बहुत ज्यादा हो गए हैं, यू फीलिंग कि दिस कैलेंडर इज नॉट वर्किंग, इट्स टू हेक्टिक एंड एवरी
Yeah,
टूर्नामेंट की वैल्यू कम हो गई है बिकॉज ऑफ दैट.
true that. That's there, and yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe I read somewhere that there are a few changes which are coming
लाइक
up.
हाँ, बट आई रेड
याद
सीधा
नहीं कुछ.
2027, नॉट इवन 26, तो
Okay.
आई एम लाइक इट्स टू फार. तब
Yeah.
तब तक क्या होगा किसी को पता नहीं.
You touched upon Lakshya Sen, Kapil. I personally feel Lakshya's case is exactly similar to what Sindhu was.
नो मोटिवेशन.
No motivation. He will perform when he wants to perform at the greatest of stages. Otherwise, on tour, he's just not motivated enough. And the reason Sindhu was able to win, maybe he might not be able to win so much of world championship medals or Olympics as much as Sindhu, but उसका रीजन ये है that the field of men's singles is much much
टफर.
higher, tougher and much more deep than women's singles, right? So Sindhu on a given day she would beat a couple of Chinese and then still win the bronze, but men's may it is all the more tougher. I mean, again, not discounting her achievements, but yeah, it is actually a ground reality. So Lakshya, I don't think he's going anywhere. You see, maybe Asian Games, if he's keeping fit, he'll be just fine. That's what at least I think.
लक्ष्य की एज कितनी हो गई, डू यू नो? 24, 25?
Yeah, somewhat of that
नहीं,
level.
क्योंकि मेरे दिमाग में आज ऑनेस्टली वो थॉट आ रहा था कि इफ ही इज
20, 2018, right? He must have been 18 in 2018.
आई मीन वी कैन चेक
So
जस्ट दैट.
that,
लक्ष्य
yeah, makes
सेन.
him 24, 25. Yes.
It says 20.
But
अच्छा, it says 2001 born.
you starting a very controversial topic, by the way.
नहीं नहीं, I actually brought that up because of the controversial topic, कि मेरा
Hmm.
दिमाग वही चल रहा था कि if his official age is 24, which means that maybe, and for those who don't know, there are a lot, it's sort of an open secret के लक्ष्य might have done age fraud at some point, जो ठीक है, it doesn't matter, अब whatever has happened, but चल रहा था कि he has probably done age fraud at some point. So now the point is, if he's 24 right now officially, and if he's really, let's say, 27, 28, then you have to start asking whether he's now already in the second half of his career. And is he now going down, and
Well,
can a
that
comeback
depends.
happen?
If you feel second half your badminton career in men's singles starts after 27 or 28. I don't have enough, you know, what do you say? Like enough evidence or proof to
Generally
make
वही
that
होता है,
statement.
राइट? के जनरली वही होता है.
बोला जाता है, but you see Chentian Chow, he's in the
हम्म,
Indonesia Open final. He's 35.
हाँ, but मतलब the point.
Excelsen won his second Olympic gold when he was 33,
नहीं
32,
नहीं,
33.
that's not the point. My point is कि if his performance is dropping, then, and if so, if he's 24 and his performance is dropping, we have higher hopes that it will rise up at some point. But if he's 28 and the performance is dropping, those hopes of having a turnaround at some point, they get
Okay,
severely hit.
answer me this question. Performance is dropping. Capability, is that dropping?
अब ये तो पता नहीं यार, आई लुक एट परफॉर्मेंस, तो वो तू बता.
Yeah, I think he's still capable enough to beat any player on a given day.
हम्म.
Just that thoda sa struggling with the motivation, and
हम्म.
once he gets into the groove, and especially when once he prepares properly for a major event, things should be fine. But my assessment is उसका वर्ल्ड टूर पे ऐसा ही रहेगा. मे बी वन ऑफ
हम्म.
tournaments he might win here and there, but I don't see him performing consistently at the world tour level. I I think in his entire career is what I would say. It will be very similar to how Sindhu's career went.
ठीक है, सो मतलब यू आर सेइंग कि लेट्स फोकस ऑन द वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप, देखते हैं वहाँ क्या होता है.
The
दैट्स
major
बेसिकली.
events, yes, yes.
ठीक है, देखते हैं. मतलब बाय द वे, तूने देखा है इन दिनों बैडमिंटन के ज्यादा
हाँ
सिर्फ
वही
सुना?
like I did not watch it live, but I used to make sure कि हाँ मैं highlights वगैरह थोड़ा बहुत catch up कर लूँ.
तो
So
हाइलाइट्स
highlights में
मतलब
देख लेता हूँ.
आफ्टर नोइंग रिजल्ट्स के विदाउट नोइंग रिजल्ट्स?
After knowing results, Kapil, I'm not as crazy as you are.
नहीं, बिकॉज द रीजन आई आस्क्ड कि आजकल मुझे व्हेन आई वॉच बैडमिंटन एंड ग्रांटेड आई एम नॉट वॉचिंग एनीवेयर नियर एज मच एज आई यूज्ड टू, बट आई स्टिल डू वॉच लिटिल बिट हियर एंड देयर. मतलब मुझे ऑनेस्टली व्हेन आई एम वॉचिंग बैडमिंटन, एक्सेप्ट फॉर सत्विक एंड चिराग, मुझे किसी में भी कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आता. मतलब इवन फॉर एग्जांपल यू नो, जैसे अभी यू हैड दिस मैच राइट, सिंधु वर्सेस who did she, Chen Yufei, Sindhu versus Chen Yufei, abhi abhi at whether it was Indonesia or whether it was Malaysia, I think Malaysia, right? One of them,
Mm-hmm.
one of the past two events, जो अभी अभी दो इवेंट हुए. तो सिंधु वर्सेस चेन यूफे था, इट वाज लाइक
Singapore, I think.
हाँ सिंगापुर में भी. सो हाँ सिंगापुर एक्चुअली, नॉट मलेशिया, सॉरी सिंगापुर. So it was what 16 all or something in the last set, and I am still not getting the confidence कि यहाँ पे कुछ भी हो सकता है. At least that's the feeling I was getting, and it ended something like 21-17. तो मतलब मुझे एटलीस्ट आई एम एटलीस्ट गॉट टू दैट लेवल इन बैडमिंटन के आउटसाइड ऑफ साची मुझे किसी पे भी कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आ
ठीक है, let's talk about LA 28, okay?
रहा.
So LA 28 में how do you see it shaping up for us? Ultimately, it will be Satvik Chirag.
सात्विक
It
चिराग
might
एंड
be Laksh in
या
men's singles.
वहीं पे खत्म हो जाता, मुझे आगे नहीं दिख रहा.
आगे फिलहाल नहीं दिख रहा है. The only the third wheel could be Gayatri and
श्रीगा.
Tisa, depending on how their progression goes in the next 2 years. It will depend on that. Maybe if they're able to come up to the level of the Malaysian player Tantina, like if they start consistently performing in top 8 or making the quarters of Super 1750s, semi-final here and there, maybe win a 500, they are in the mix.
होपफुली बट मतलब आई एम गेटिंग द फीलिंग नाउ कि श्रीगा हैज हैड देयर had quite a few years. अभी कितने 3-4 साल हो गए at the top circuit.
हाँ, बट
And
3 साल ही हुए हैं ना. कम ऑन,
but
दे आर स्टिल वेरी यंग.
but yeah, I am getting to that point कि मुझे लग रहा है the time is sort of running out now. If it's not happened till now, it's looking difficult to happen in the future. It could, but I am getting to that point कि अब होना मुश्किल है for them.
नहीं, I think there's still a couple of years ahead of them. We'll get to know. But उसके अलावा I honestly feel, and some people are obviously pointing it out in the chat. Ayush is the next player to watch out for. Solid game. I've seen whatever I've seen in the highlights. He's got a few results as well. I think recently Super 300 के semi-final या final में पहुंचा था, and he's made 3-4 300 level semi-finals, and yeah, I think has a couple of wins as well against much higher ranked players, and on top of that has a good physique, tall player, is able to cover the court really well. Technique wise, Indian badminton players are anyways sharp enough, so has got all the right ingredients. Under 40 में आ गया है gradually. That is one player I feel more than your
कि कुछ
Kiran
कर सकता है.
Georges or more than your uh,
प्रियांशु राजावत.
Priyanshu Rajawat, yes. So I think right now he's the one who is progressing really well, and won't be a big surprise also if he's actually you see him maybe under top 16 when it comes to LA 28. And in women's singles, I don't know how long Sindhu is going to play, but yeah, we might see a new face in LA Olympics is what I feel is an early prediction. Maybe a Unnati Huda or a Anmol
Yeah, new
could
face
be a
is fine.
possibility.
Yeah, new face is fine, but I don't see a medal contender there.
Obviously,
Just
no. So yeah,
just
even
thing.
in LA 28, they would be what, 19 or 20, right? So even from
Who?
a Unnati or a Anmol,
She's 16 right now.
Unnati is what, 17?
Okay.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
So yeah,
तो
I
मतलब
mean
LA
from my exposure,
2020, right?
yeah, exactly. So still, like from a participation exposure standpoint, also, I think we will be in a good space.
More
But
like
yeah,
21.
ultimately,
उन्नति 2007 born. The LA
yeah,
28 is more like 21.
yeah. So all in all, basically, we would have a strong contingent there, but ultimately, early call medal contenders will be in and around obviously Satvik Chirag if they remain injury free and they things go smoothly for them, and Lakshya, and yeah, like Trisa Gayatri. That's all.
लेट्स सी, मतलब मेरा तो ज्यादा उम्मीद सच्ची से ही है, एंड होपफुली लक्ष्य इफ ही कैन कम बैक. And lot of talk about mixed doubles as well. Satish Adya का कुछ talk था. There was, I think it's more
I
like that, right? और कोई है नहीं तो किसी की तो बात कर लो. That was
मुझे
the
तो
feeling I
मुझे तो
was
आज
getting.
तक वो कॉन्सेप्ट समझ ही नहीं आया, लाइक ही इज अ मेन सिंगल्स प्लेयर आल्सो प्लेइंग मिक्स डबल्स.
हाँ.
हाउ विल इट एवर वर्क at the most elite level? It was coach's call to participate, make him participate in two events. But as a fan who has followed badminton for these many years, just does not make sense to me.
नहीं, how will it work का तो आंसर यही है कि at some point he'll have to select one, because if you're talking about LA 28 अभी भी
But
3 साल
that
है.
some point is also not coming. No, it's been
नहीं
almost
but
2 years now.
हाँ, but LA 28 is still 3 years away. That
Hmm.
way, that way you can say. But the main point I was making is कि it's like मतलब I don't get much hope. The point is कि mixed doubles में they are number one, तो उनका नाम हमने कर दिया. But at world level, I don't think there's much happening. You have the odd wins here and there कि एक आधा upset win इधर उधर कर दिया. But at least मुझे
Yeah, yeah, it's
मुझे
not happening.
feel नहीं आ रहा है. हाँ.
Obviously, the best mixed doubles we have currently is
Dhruv Tanisha.
Dhruv Tanisha, right? Dhruv Kapila and Tanisha.
Hmm.
And even they are not world class. They're
They are not.
like top 16, top 20 pair, and that's about it.
That also I think is a little pushing it only a little bit. Top
Yeah.
20 भी मेरी समझ में.
And even for Priyanshu Kiran, I mean, these are like top 30 players, but you know what? Somewhere you need such players also to keep the momentum going and to
Hmm.
fill in the draws. You can't just have two players in the draws and expect everything out from them. You need to have Indian men singles का हमेशा से रहा है, right? That there have to be 3 4 players in the draw and they sometimes pack in the hunt in the pack and कोई ना कोई जीत ही जाता है कभी ना कभी on the tour as well. So I think it's important that you have to have some level of participation, and that's how
ठीक है.
I see Kiran and Priyanshu, that they're good enough for a top 30, top 20 to 30 range, and yeah, they are important to be there in the draws. That's all.
ठीक है, मतलब I thought the previous crop was maybe better, but ठीक है, I get the point.
Yeah, yeah. Previous crop was better. I agree on that. But yeah, still, I mean, not having anyone
So it's
and then
always good to have someone,
yeah,
but हाँ, but yeah, ज़्यादा hopes मत रखो कि they are world beaters or anything. I don't see world beaters really there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we outside of LA, just from a potential standpoint, couple of other names that we need to watch for are both Tanvis. So Tanvi Sharma and Tanvi Patri. So I
Okay.
don't know if, how much of you've heard about Tanvi Patri. There
Yeah, I haven't
was
heard much. I've heard Tanvi
some.
Sharma.
Hmm.
I haven't heard much Tanvi Pati,
So yeah, Tanvi
but it
Sharma,
seems
obviously
like
you would have heard
सुना
in
है.
tandem with Anmol, right?
हाँ,
Because
तन्वी पाती मतलब लगता है नाम सुना है, but yeah, educate me.
so from what I remember, the news came around last year that she is pretty young, 13 or 14 right now, and she was based in China actually. Okay, the parents were in China, and that's where she's trained. All her basics, all her techniques have come from Chinese coaches. Now maybe that could be the reason that there is so much of hype around it, and I think she's training in one of those Odisha, sporting excellence uh,
तो
institute.
IIS type.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't remember the exact name of it, but she's training there, and there is pretty solid evidence from whoever has watched her game that the potential and the ceiling is pretty high because she's learned from the Chinese. That's the main reason. Still hasn't started playing at the international level, or I don't know how she's performing at the domestic level. But my analysis or assessment is purely coming from a few news articles which came about last year.
ठीक है,
So
मतलब
just someone to watch out for.
it's basically a hopeful thing, right? I mean, मेरा हमेशा attitude फिर इसमें जाता है. We have seen a lot of girls being hyped up and then not really happening, right? Too many
Yeah,
women
but
singles players in
you
recent
can
times.
have like a
Yeah,
calculated
yeah,
hype, right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
you don't need to go over the board. And someone is saying she's a under 15 Asia champion.
He's also saying कि
So,
she's now with Prakash Patekon.
yeah, could be.
देखते हैं
So yeah,
मतलब हाँ मतलब
couple of names to watch out
but the
for.
simple fact है I think we are having to dig so deep shows कि current state is not good, right?
It
We
is
are
not.
Yeah, we are talking about a player who's not even started playing seniors yet, and
But then we always keep on talking about who after Saina Sindhu, right? And
the
since
answer
the
has not been
present crop,
answered. The answer has not been answered.
it hasn't been answered by the present crop. So that's why
Hmm.
you look at the next crop.
Yeah, ठीक है. But the answer can also be no one, right? It's not. We don't have a copyright के कोई ना कोई आएगा ही, right?
Ah, yes, true.
तो देखते हैं. ठीक है. Before moving, I guess we can talk about Srikanth. He had like one good tournament. Just I think a little bit of a high. I mean, I don't think it means much for future, but he did have a nice tournament. Got to the final, na? I think
Yeah, yeah,
of
I
a
lost.
Super 500. So big
Hmm.
bit of a turning back of the clock, but nice to see him. That's all we can say.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I echo your thoughts
Mm,
just about that. It was nice to see him performing at this level and, just
all
letting
the way
loose. And
from qualifiers as well. All the way from
yeah.
qualifiers.
Yeah, and also I was thinking like 2017 when he
Hmm.
basically peaked. So his peak was 2014 to 17, right?
Mainly
And
17 only.
14 he won China Open, then
Start हुआ
15 he won Indian
हाँ
Open.
ठीक है
So
या
you can say that, right?
बोल सकता है हाँ.
14 to 17, a lot of fan base in badminton today in India are these youngsters who are in your teenage or early 20s who haven't actually seen peak Shrikant.
Hmm.
So I was just happy about this thing that maybe they sort of got a glimpse of how, the actual Shrikant used to be. Fuck, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Hmm.
Sorry to use that word, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, like it was great to, see him performing this way. And yeah, a bit of a nostalgia there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not hoping for it to the, मतलब definitely not expecting for it to repeat or anything. You can always hope, but yeah, nice to see that one tournament he found his groove.
Yeah, true.
ठीक है आगे चले कहाँ जाना है? There was some suggestion of wrestling, archery.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about archery. You are the champion of rules and changes which happen in sports. So yeah, take us through the changes that have happened just as a refresher. Compound archery coming into the Olympics, number of teams getting coming down
Hmm.
in recurve. So yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so वही first of all वही है compound archery in Olympics. I don't think they have declared okay, how many teams will be there, but most likely probably
But it's
16
only
teams
going to be mixed doubles,
and
right?
only mixed team. So mixed
Mixed
team.
team, yeah.
So most likely I think 16 teams, and so you'll have like 16 men and 16 female compound archers going, and you'll have a 16 team tournament. Could be less, but I think most likely 16. The result of that was, of course, they reduced the basically number of recurve archers. तो
Hmm.
उसका सबसे बड़ा impact was obviously कि the 12 teams जो men और women में होती थी they got reduced to 8,
Yeah.
which is a big you know that's like how much 33% cut. 12 से 8 is like 33% cut, and it obviously becomes much more difficult to now qualify for the recurve team events. And obviously individual पे भी फर्क पड़ेगा ही because 4 into 3 12 archers are gone now. So और इसीलिए I'm saying कि वहीं से I'm guessing कि maybe mixed team में 12 आएंगे because 4
Okay.
into 3 12 recurve archer spots given to 12 compound and 12 female recurve archer spots given to compound.
And how much do you think it increases India's chances overall in Olympics? There was this huge jubilation on Twitter as if we have already won medals in compound. That compound has been added to the Olympics.
तो या ऑब्वियसली द जुबिलेशन इज ऑब्वियसली हमेशा इंडिया में थोड़ा ओवरब्लो नहीं होता है उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है बट या आई मीन आई विल से दैट even after everything that might happen between now and LA, and a lot of things will happen between now
A
and
lot
LA.
of things have started happening.
I mean, the first thing I was seeing is that China and Japan are still not competing in compound. That is at
Mm-hmm.
least the first surprise. I thought they would have started by now.
And I have a small trivia for you. You know that we didn't win even a single medal in Antalya World Cup, right?
This
In
current World
compound.
Cup, yeah.
When was the last time India drew a blank in compound archery? Had not even a single medal in compound archery in World Cup. When was the last time? Just
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, I can imagine it's not gonna be near, that's for sure. Maybe 21, somewhere there,
Yeah,
19.
you're close because I checked it this morning. It was July 22 when none of the compound archers, medaled. So it's been almost 3 years. The moment they announce, I don't think there has been a World Cup after this announcement, or there has been.
नहीं नहीं पिछला वर्ल्ड कप हुआ एंड वी डिड वेल बट वी डिड नॉट
Announcement के
डोमिनेट.
बाद था.
हाँ उसके
हाँ,
बाद ही
okay,
था. बट द बिग
okay.
चेंज इस वर्ल्ड कप में देयर वाज दैट अदर बिग चेंज राइट. सो दिस वर्ल्ड कप यू डोंट नो वेदर इट्स
11.
बिग. हाँ सो दोज हु डोंट नो दिस वर्ल्ड कप जो अभी अंतालिया में हुआ इनफैक्ट चालू है. इट विल एंड टुमारो बट इंडियंस आर ऑल लॉस्ट एंड वी डोंट हैव अ सिंगल मेडल. द बिग चेंज व्हिच हैपेंड वाज के नाउ द एक्स रिंग इज वर्थ 11 पॉइंट्स. So, but the one critical point there is that it's a test event. They have not said that X will be 11 now going forward. They are saying that we are testing this procedure X as 11 in Antalya, and then we will see कि आगे क्या करना है. और मतलब if you ask me वो एक थोड़ा फैक्टर है ही कि इंडिया वाले हमेशा they don't take well to changes. मतलब the way I see it, इंडियन आर्चर्स को जब पता चला होगा कि एक वर्ल्ड कप होने वाला है जिसमें एक्स विल बी ट्रीटेड एज 11. आई एम नॉट टू श्योर दे हैव एडजस्टेड देयर ट्रेनिंग मेथड्स एंड वॉट एवर फॉर इट. तो मतलब बिकॉज दे आर लाइक एक इवेंट के लिए हमको क्यों करना है उसके बाद हट ही जाएगा तो व्हाट टू डू. सो मे बी आई एम बीइंग होपफुल but you don't know. But will they be able to do? That's also another question. But yeah, this 11 point definitely hurt us इस बार. मतलब बिकॉज लास्ट इवेंट भी जो था शंघाई में वर्ल्ड कप हुआ है वी डिड नॉट डोमिनेट कंपाउंड एज वी हैव डन अ फ्यू इवेंट्स इन द पास्ट. बट वी
Hmm.
स्टिल हैड आई थिंक I don't remember कितने gold थे, but we still had like 4-5 medals, maybe a couple of golds. And actually, I was surprised that even the recurved archers came back with a few medals in Shanghai. So it was so
Yeah, I remember there was Parth or someone, right, who
5
had
साल उनके
beaten
हाँ.
Olympic silver medalist.
हाँ so मतलब the Shanghai basically the Shanghai World Cup went honestly uh, all things considered very well. Yeah, the compound part could still have been better क्योंकि compound में हमें आदत पड़ गई है कि we are sort of dominating. But Recurve did very well. And yeah, this World Cup has been a disaster. There is no other way to put at it.
Yeah.
It's been a complete disaster. The only question is कि वो 11 point का क्या factor है. मतलब there can be multiple things here. One is कि we were just not prepared for it right now, and hopefully we get prepared for it in future. And the other thing is कि maybe it's just a one-off. It is anyways removed. And the third thing is कि it's gonna screw us. तीनों चीज में से कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Hmm. Yeah, like I don't know how much of this 11 rule is going to, impact us because, yeah, like can't get into, their philosophy. Yeah, what they generally think. What you are saying might hold true. I'm not denying that. But one thing is for sure that other countries will now start taking compound archery very seriously. I
हाँ.
don't know how much of it is, playing in Indian archers' mind when they are participating in the World
Yeah.
Cup. I can't say that, but I definitely know that the level of importance has would have grown so much higher in countries like Korea, Mexico, Colombia, US, especially US, who would be hosting it and who are basically the uh, in they started compound archery, right?
I
If
would
I'm not,
yeah, but I would actually say US was anyways pretty serious about compound.
they
मतलब
were they were right
हाँ क्योंकि
because they were the ones who introduced compound
and
archery
and
to the.
and in fact US में I mean I remember there was this I think Brady Ellison's wife I don't remember the name some Mackenzie Brown maybe but I'm not too sure about the name. But at least there was one female archer I knew who actually shifted from recurve to compound, which is something which I have not seen anywhere else. Brady Ellison himself has shifted from compound to recurve. He initially started with compound. He used to go hunting with his dad, and he used to use compound both. So वहाँ से he came into the sport, and then he shifted to recurve because of the Olympics. But US has actually had archers who also shift from recurve to compound क्योंकि उन लोग के लिए Olympic medal is not बिगर थिंग
Yeah, yeah.
जितना दूसरी जगहों के लिए है, राइट?
True, true, true.
माई सरप्राइज इज दैट जापान एंड चाइना स्टिल नॉट सेंट कंपाउंड टीम्स।
Yeah,
आई
because still early days, no, we can't say what's going to happen. Maybe they are
भेजने में क्या जाता है? आई थॉट दे वुड हैव कम अप विद अ टीम बाय नाउ।
भेजने में क्या जाता है. Japan Chinese follow their own philosophies, right? They obviously don't look at sport the way we do, or maybe the Europeans or the
नहीं,
US
आई
do.
थिंक उन लोग का जनरली ये फंडा है कि इट्स लाइक सेंड, दे विल गेन एक्सपीरियंस।
Well, जो भी है, we still have 3 more years to look
हाँ,
at
दे विल कम
how
बैक,
they
देयर
are
इज,
going to come back, right?
या
But
देयर इज,
largely, I think we all can agree that the countries will start taking seriously.
एंड
As
द पार्टिसिपेशन विल आल्सो इंक्रीज ग्रेटली कंपाउंड में।
participation will increase, but the only thing which, as per me, is favorable to India with compound archery getting into the Olympics is that at least we will have one event where there will be 3 medals available and not two.
अच्छा, यू आर सेइंग कोरिया पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू।
Yes. So I think that is something advantageous to us, along with obviously us having world class athletes who have performed at the highest level previously. But yeah, Olympics is Olympics.
नहीं नहीं, एवरीबडी इज गोना कम फॉर इट, देयर इज नो डाउट, बट एट द सेम टाइम मतलब थोड़ा बहुत तो एक्सपीरियंस एंड द फर्स्ट मूवर एडवांटेज आल्सो मैटर्स, राइट? कि वी हैव लाइक 5 6 years ऑफ सीरियस कंपाउंड्स behind us which other
Yeah,
countries won't. So
yeah. But
hopefully,
all of that gets
mm.
nullified in Olympics. When
And
when
especially
you
archery में तो
the
मतलब
moment you step into that Olympic
हाँ,
village, no Kapil, everything gets washed
अरे
off.
हाँ, मतलब तू ओलंपिक विलेज तक बोल रहा है, उसके पहले क्वालिफाई भी करना है, बट ठीक है, क्वालिफाई तो होपफुली हो जाना चाहिए 12 टीम्स में।
Hmm.
बट या, आई एग्री विथ यू कि व्हाट विल हैपन वो टाइम ही बताएगा। बट या, एटलीस्ट वी हैव सम होप, मतलब compound still gives me more hope than recurve, let me put it that way. And
Yeah,
it's not just the
correct.
3-2 thing. I think even ability wise we are maybe better, ability wise, experience wise we are better. But
Hmm.
I'm really worried about this 11 point thing, because this World Cup was really horrible, and I at least blamed it on the 11 point thing, not on the fact that people are coming up in compound, because Pishla World Cup we did pretty well.
Okay,
And
maybe.
Pishla World Cup
Just
not just compound, recurve also we did pretty well. यहाँ पे इस
ठीक
बार
है, just one
पूरा ही
as a
चला।
sample size, right? Let's look into more World Cups and
हाँ,
then
वो तो ऑब्वियसली
see.
एज एक ही टूर्नामेंट है, but and in general, I mean, I always get feeling कि Indians are the uh, generally the slowest to adjust to new events and new sports. I don't know if you get the feeling, but मुझे generally ये feeling आती है।
नहीं, like I generally don't like ऐसे getting into stereotypes या मतलब
नहीं
theories ही होती है ना, evidence कुछ as such होता नहीं है
नहीं, जैसे
back
मतलब
करने के
फॉर
लिए.
एग्जांपल स्पोर्ट क्लाइंबिंग, सर्फिंग, ब्रेक डांसिंग, मतलब यू टॉक अबाउट कि इंडिया में ब्रेक डांसर्स कितने हैं, कुछ नहीं किया हमने। मतलब यू
बट
वुड इमेजिन
रीजंस
कि
है ना उसके पीछे.
क्या रीजन है कि वो फेडरेशन नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है।
हाँ,
आई मीन, तो आई वुड इमेजिन कि यू
मतलब
कैन वर्क दोस
that
थिंग्स
is
आउट।
one part of the overall problem, but that is a problem.
देखते हैं, बट आई ऑलवेज गेट दैट फीलिंग कि वी आर जनरली मतलब एज
हाँ, वो भी सही है, culturally we are
अ
not.
not culturally, I'm saying our sports persons generally are slow in adjusting because they don't easily accept कि change is coming, मतलब
Mhm.
एक्सेप्ट करने में थोड़ा टाइम लगता है कि हाँ चेंज होने वाला है। सो
हाँ, could hold true. I'm not denying
अब
it.
जैसे वही शूटिंग में बात करो, वंस इट्स ऑफिशियली डिक्लेयर्ड कि द फॉर्मेट इज चेंजिंग, आवर शूटर्स आर मैनेज्ड, इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम।
Hmm.
एकदम ऑफिशियल हो जाता है ना कि फॉर्मेट चेंज हो रहा है, टेक्निक में कुछ चेंज नहीं है, सिर्फ फॉर्मेट थोड़ा चेंज हो रहा है, वी हैव बीन एबल टू मैनेज। बट you know, if 11 scores more, that is, from what I understand, that is a technique change, because you have to now go for the 11 rather than being, or you have to go for the x rather
Precision.
than, you have to go for the x rather than being satisfied by the 10. So it
Hmm.
is actually a bit of a technique change, and I don't think they would have done it right now, because it is so far still only a test event. एक बार
I don't think there will be a technique change because of this rule change.
नहीं, फर्क पड़ता है थोड़ा, टेक्निक और एटीट्यूड में थोड़ा फर्क पड़ता है, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ द टाइम्स यू नो इट्स लाइक यू आर, जो एटलीस्ट माई स्मॉल अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज कि इट्स लाइक इफ यू आर होल्डिंग दी बो एंड एरो एंड यू आर सीइंग एंड यू आर थिंकिंग कि ओके ये 10 में जाएगा, यू कैन लीव इट, बट अर्लियर यू हैव टू कीप गोइंग फॉर द 11, which is
Yeah, like
because
I mean,
the main point is
it
keeping
does
your hand
seem
still, right?
logical.
मेन पॉइंट इज कीपिंग योर हैंड स्टिल, राइट? तुम्हारे हैंड्स हमेशा हल्के हल्के हिलते रहते हैं, सो इफ यू थिंक के बराबर ज्यादा, यू लीव इट, बट नाउ यू कांट, सो आई थिंक
Last
देयर
time
इज अ चेंज।
last time you tried doing such actions, I think you were explaining something in shooting.
सेम
मुझे ऐसे कुछ
कॉन्सेप्ट है,
obliquely याद आ रहा है.
कॉन्सेप्ट सेम है कि वही
Yeah, but
10.4 10.7 टाइप्स, कॉन्सेप्ट सेम है.
yeah, but my point is also, I think we should talk about shooting.
ओके
That
चलो.
is one sport that has been doing really,
जा
really
रहा
well
है
after
या
Olympics.
शूटिंग, या शूटिंग डूइंग वेरी वेल. मतलब ठीक है, लॉट ऑफ न्यू शूटर्स भी आर हियरिंग, लॉट ऑफ. एक ही वर्ल्ड कप हुआ है अभी सीनियर का तो, बट
दो हो गए.
दो हो गए क्या? डिड आई मिस द फर्स्ट वन?
सुरुचि ने दोनों में ही फोड़ा ना.
हाँ हाँ, राइट 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 राइट, यू आर राइट. एक जूनियर नहीं था, दोनों सीनियर थे.
नहीं नहीं, दोनों ही
ओके.
सीनियर थे. एंड आई थिंक दिस म्यूनिक वन विच
या
इज स्टार्टिंग टुमारो,
हाँ.
so it's going to be the third world cup. And yeah, first thing I would personally want to talk about is good to see our erstwhile hero back. क्या हुआ?
वही वैभव सोनी आज जोकी मूड में.
Yeah, we are not going to be talking about chess, Weber, just for your
नो नो, वी विल
information.
बी टॉकिंग, नॉट टू मच बट वी विल बी टॉकिंग.
Yeah.
आई एम नॉट.
So,
नॉट
anyways,
हाँ.
coming back to Saurabh, yeah, that was the best thing, to see personally, that he's back into the national squad. I don't know if he's there in Munich. I think नहीं है अभी. National rankings में नीचे चला गया है वापस. But yeah, he's there and there about. अच्छे scores मार रहे हैं. And maybe yeah, the previous touch he used to have comes back, and if he's back to his previous form in the way Indian shooting has leveled up since Tokyo days. Yeah, I think it's going to be crazy. I don't I'm not shy of hyping it up. Indian shooting ka to yeah, you can hype it up as much as you want. And
या
then of course G, who is in my books female Saurabh. Basically the way Saurabh came into the picture, that's how Suruchi is also performing, not just winning gold but absolutely dominating the field. Qualification final दोनों.
या आई थिंक उतना सौरभ लेवल नहीं है बट शी इज क्लोज. एंड
मतलब दो वर्ल्ड कप हुए हैं, दोनों में इतना अच्छा किया है, एंड दैट टू फ्रॉम डेब्यू वर्ल्ड कप.
yeah,
सो
right. मतलब she is definitely, splashed the scene, set the scene on fire so far. And shooting में तो सबसे जो हमेशा amazing होता है is just the depth, right? You keep hearing names. हर वर्ल्ड कप में अलग अलग नाम होते हैं, and it's like you have no idea कि you might not have heard the names, but they're still completely world class.
yeah,
They have
but
come through
we need to
trials.
we need to get used to these things, right? You
Hmm.
never know,
No, no,
next year
we
there
should.
might be another Surbi. Sorry, not Surbi, but
Suruchi,
Surbi only, no?
Suruchi,
Suruchi.
Suruchi.
Yeah, yeah.
नहीं नहीं, not just get used to it, we need to embrace them कि this is how it's supposed to be कि we have so
Hmm.
many good people that anybody can top at any point, and we should cheer the one who topped at that point. We should not get emotionally attached to one player, or couple of players कि ये मेरा favorite player है, let I want to just see him. We should just cheer whoever is coming through the top, as long as they are coming through trials, right? And shooting has a
Yeah,
very hard trial system. It's not like कि
that is
पॉलिटिक्स हो रही है या वट एवर कि इसको घुसा दो उसको घुसा दो, जनरली नहीं
that
होता है
is
शूटिंग में.
true, but you also need to recognize and appreciate if someone extraordinary is coming
ट्रू.
forward, right? Which she shows all the glimpse that she's going to be a extraordinary shooter,
या
at least
या
early signs.
हाँ, शूटिंग में और मोमेंटम तो है ही, मतलब कि इट्स लाइक 3 मेडल आए थे पेरिस में, सो दैट मोमेंटम इज कैरिंग फॉरवर्ड, एंड इट इज ऑन अ हाई राइट नाउ. होपफुली इट स्टेज हाई, दैट्स द ओनली थिंग वी कैन होप कि
Yeah,
शूटिंग
like
जस्ट
even
स्टेज.
Rudransh is back. He's been winning medals. So yeah, even that is good to see. And in general, rifle pistol दोनों ही अच्छा कर रहे हैं.
द ओनली थिंग यू कैन
You've
से इज कि मे
started
बी द.
winning gold medals in 25 rapid fire as well.
I mean, the only thing you can say is that the last two World Cups, the competition was maybe not the strongest. It wasn't the
Hmm.
weakest also, but wasn't the strongest. So the Munich will be the real test कि हम लोग actually
Yep,
कहाँ पे.
true that.
And also, just in general, the scores in rifle start keep getting crazier, ना?
Yeah,
पागल की तरह
truly.
बढ़ते रहते हैं scores. ठीक है.
Yeah, but it's okay, right? It's not like our shooters are lagging. So they are also keeping up with the pace.
ठीक है. और कुछ है shooting में?
नहीं बस maybe the small rule change that there won't be mixed skeet and mixed trap now does
वो
not
तो
change anything for us.
yeah, and that though from what I've heard, it was a old thing only. कि when they changed trap to skeet,
Alternate.
हाँ, they had said then only कि we'll keep alternating. दूसरा rule change actually वो था. I don't know when it's happening, but some I think maybe after LA, I'm not sure. But कहीं पे किसी ने बोला था कि 25-meter rapid fire is going out and 25-meter pistol will come in for men also. The women
Okay.
format.
No, no, no. ऐसा मैंने तो नहीं पढ़ा,
नहीं
but
नहीं
yeah,
पढ़ा
there's
मैंने definitely. It's only कब आ रहा है. That one I don't know.
no, but the rule change in 25-meter rapid fire is also that now it's going to be 8 slots rather than 6. That's also a big change.
वो तो आई थिंक उसमें भी चल रहा था शायद शॉटगन में भी आई थिंक दे वांटेड टू गेट 8 इन
शॉटगन में भी वो 6 to 8 हो गया है, करेक्ट.
वो करने वाले थे आई डोंट थिंक उसका फॉर्मेट आया है कि हाउ दे आर डूइंग इट
हम्म.
आ गया क्या आई डोंट थिंक इट केम बट दे वांटेड टू डू इट बट या रैपिड फायर का आई डेफिनेटली रेड दिस आल्सो कि रैपिड फायर इज ऑन इट्स लास्ट लेग्स आई डोंट नो व्हेन बट एट सम पॉइंट इट्स गेटिंग रिप्लेस्ड बाय 25-meter pistol and then we'll have a basically full gender equality.
Yeah,
Dusra Vasant is also saying only standing in 53p finals.
yeah.
That
I
was
think
also another change.
it bodes well for India again.
हम्म, ठीक है देखते हैं शूटिंग में फॉर्मेट चेंजेस तो होते ही रहते हैं बट इट्स
हम्म.
स्टिल अ लिटिल अर्ली लेट्स सी हाउ इट हैपेंस चलो फिर चेस चले अभी तूने चेस बीच में बोल दिया था तो
मतलब इतने सारे ओलंपिक स्पोर्ट्स बचे हैं अभी.
तुझे वो
You
करने
we
पहले बोलो
haven't spoken about wrestling, boxing, hockey. There was a match today. Come
हाँ
on.
तो आई थॉट वो थोड़े एंड में रखते हैं नहीं यू वांट टू
नहीं नहीं,
अभी
चेस
करने
विल टॉक टुवर्ड्स द एंड. तेरे
चल
को
ठीक है
5 मिनट का
तू सो
स्लॉट
जाना
मिल जाएगा. यू स्पीक वट एवर यू वांट टू.
चल बोल हॉकी जाना है या हॉकी देखा था मैंने आज का मैच आई सॉ द सेकंड हाफ आई डिडंट सी द फुल मैच today's match honestly was a little disappointing we were generally defensive only बहुत ज़्यादा अटैक नहीं था ऐसा लग रहा था कि थोड़ा डर डर के खेल रहे हैं एंड इवन द फर्स्ट लेग इन इंडिया आई सॉर्ट ऑफ गॉट अ 50-50 फीलिंग मोस्ट मतलब टॉकिंग अबाउट मेंस हॉकी हियर इट वाज जनरली इट वाज लाइक के एक मैच जीतते हैं फिर एक मैच हार जाते हैं वैसा चल रहा था सो ऑनेस्टली ओवरऑल नॉट डिसअपॉइंटेड बट आई थॉट वी कुड हैव डन बेटर इन द प्रो
चल
लीग
ठीक है,
सो
वो
फार
तो आज का मैच हो गया, बट आई
नहीं
मीन
नहीं
इफ वी
पहले का
लुक
भी
एट
बोल रहा हूँ मैं
द like
पहले का भी बोल
larger picture, if we look at it, how
हम्म,
do you see, like, it's progressing well where we left off in Paris? There
we are
haven't been any changes as such.
many changes have been there right we haven't had really changes in the defense and the midfield but we are
हाँ,
trying
मतलब not
quite a
major
few
changes.
no, but we are trying
Maybe
quite a
a
few
few youngsters
forwards
are coming up after the
yeah we are
hockey
trying
league.
quite a few new forwards I
Hmm.
don't remember the names क्योंकि February में थे but we tried actually quite a new forwards and all of them were okay but none of them made you go wow कि ये कहाँ से आ गया so मतलब honestly hockey felt a little middling to me जितना 2025 में hockey हुआ है in the pro league you still felt के on a day we can compete with anybody but on a bad day even a weaker team like weaker team can beat us and we are somewhere still there only like maybe just one level below the toppers of let's say Holland and Australia के सामने तो फटती ही है हमारी in general but
But
so we
maybe things might change after Paris. अभी इतना देखा ही गया.
नहीं मैं 2025 की बात कर रहा हूँ ना so 2025 में what I saw it felt like it was sort of a middling performance not too great but not too bad also the current leg will show a lot we are playing the big teams we are playing Holland here we are playing Australia
Hmm.
we are playing Belgium so let's see Kada. Today's match definitely was a little disappointing it worked till like 57 minutes we were full time defending
Yeah,
1-1 चल रहा था
disappointing because they fizzled out in second half, right? First half, I mean, the glimpses were there that
अच्छा
yeah,
फर्स्ट हाफ
we
मैंने
are.
देखा नहीं मैंने सेकंड हाफ देखा इसलिए मे बी आई वाज मोर डिसअपॉइंटेड फर्स्ट हाफ
मैंने
आई
देखा
मिस्ड
तो नहीं, but from what I read on Twitter, and we were also the first ones to take the lead, and in general, first half we were a better team than Netherlands, is what I read. So
ओके
yeah, like, how often do you used to call it that okay, you are performing better than Netherlands or Australia in even in one half?
Okay, that's the case then. Okay, Gururaj is also saying we were way better in first half. मैंने actually first half देखा नहीं. I just
Yeah,
saw the second
exactly.
half. तो मेरा फिर opinion थोड़ा वहाँ से आ रहा है. But yeah, in general felt like a middling performance. We definitely can improve, and we need a few injection. We need some. young blood to be injected and some young blood to shine, which is not yet happening.
And any insights or thoughts on women's hockey?
Disappointing. बहुत we struggled a lot in
Disappointing
the
in what sense? Like post
maybe
Paris, क्या हुआ है?
हाँ पोस्ट पेरिस की बात करना हूँ सो अगेन वही प्रो लीग ही हुआ है इट हैपेंड इन लाइक आई डोंट रिमेंबर February January maybe somewhere there March we were pretty much losing everything. There was though one miracle match where I think drew Holland, and Holland in women is a different beast, right? It is not the same as
Was
Holland
it
in.
Team A playing for Holland?
अब वो टीम ए का तो यार पोस्ट ओलंपिक ईयर इट्स ऑलवेज अ क्वेश्चन मार्क एवरीबडी इज ट्राइंग न्यू प्लेयर्स सम प्लेयर्स हैव रिटायर्ड सो टीम ए का तो हमेशा क्वेश्चन मार्क ही रहेगा बट हॉलैंड का टीम बी इटसेल्फ इज वेरी स्कैरी मतलब हॉलैंड इन वुमेन्स हॉकी इज अ डिफरेंट बीस्ट
Ah,
इट्स नॉट
they beat Australia 8-1 today.
so Holland in women's hockey is a different beast. You cannot compare with any other hockey team, men or women. So Holland ko we held for the draw was a huge result, and then we lost in the shootout, but that's okay. So that was a huge result. But उसके अलावा it was honestly disappointing. Generally we were losing एक Ireland को I think हराया है, but in general we struggled right, and we had the home advantage and we struggled. And now Vandana Katari has also retired.
Mm.
Deepika is coming along. She is giving some hope that maybe she can carry the team in the future. So there is hope. Maybe a team can come together. And obviously, this team is still reeling from missing out on the Olympics. So we'll see.
Any any thoughts on Harinder Singh coming back to the fold? Like he's coming, going, and once again back to coaching an Indian hockey team.
I mean, I don't really have much thoughts on coaches. कि generally अंदर क्या हो रहा है we don't really know. But yeah, result wise so far we need improvement. That's all I can say.
Mm.
रिजल्ट वाइज वुमेन के केस में तो डेफिनेटली वी नीड इम्प्रूवमेंट अभी नहीं हो रहा है
Alright. I think hockey season is almost starting up
लिटरली
in
स्टार्टिंग
full
टुडे
rhythm. हाँ,
लिटरली
exactly.
स्टार्टिंग टुडे
ये तो बोल रहे हैं ना जैन फेब में प्रो लीग भी था. I mean,
नहीं नहीं तो
even
वैसे
that is
वैसे
still closer to the Olympics. तो इतना you don't read too much into the results.
नहीं तो बट ओलंपिक से हो गया 6-7 महीना ओलंपिक भी तो जुलाई में था सो
पहला टूर्नामेंट होता है ना तो everyone is sort of
मे बी
testing the waters वाली बात
हाँ
होती है.
बट प्रो लीग का वैसा ही चलता है राइट कि प्रो लीग के 8 मैचेस बेसिकली सबके हो गए हैं विच इज हाफ द मैचेस एंड हाफ द मैचेस नाउ स्टार्टेड टुडे सो दैट इज हाउ द प्रो लीग वर्क्स
Mm.
so every team will play 16 matches or maybe 18 matches something like that. But what I saw is that everybody played 16 matches only, 9 team pro league. Yeah. So everybody will play 16 matches, and 8 matches got played whenever they were played. I'm not too sure. Jan था, Feb था, maybe November भी होगा था. नहीं November तो नहीं था. I think 25 ही था. So 8 matches got played then. India played all of their matches in India, and now the Europe leg is there where India will play in Europe. तो आज हॉलैंड था. We have 2 matches each against Holland. Men का we have 2 matches each against Holland, Australia, Argentina and Belgium. ये
Oh,
चार के सामने
nice.
दो-दो है.
सही है.
वुमेन का शेड्यूल नहीं मालूम but it's basically the same कि we'll have 2 matches each against 4 teams I think for the women also.
Mm. Okay, great. ठीक है, I think we can move on from hockey. You want to talk about wrestling?
Wrestling का तो एक दो टूर्नामेंट
ज़्यादा
हुआ
कुछ
था.
हुआ नहीं है, हाँ.
एक दो टूर्नामेंट हुए थे ऑनेस्टली बहुत ज़्यादा फॉलो किए नहीं and I guess the women team did got decent medals.
In the Mongolian event.
Yeah, they got decent goals. Men team got medals but not gold.
Look, same thing, no? Women's wrestling, I mean,
थोड़ा
it's not
strong
going
है ही.
anywhere. The momentum will carry on. So much of depth we have in women's wrestling, and I think, yeah, like Antim जैसे और भी I feel that we will have a few more Antims coming out
Hopefully.
in this cycle. It could be a Ritika Hooda.
Yeah,
It
Ritika
could
Hooda I
be.
wanted to talk about. Ritika Hooda का एक कोई tournament था. Maybe it was an Asian Championship. I'm not too sure. But there was some decent event where she got to the final and she was winning the final against a Japanese. And
Mhm,
then last 30 seconds we gave it up. But she actually had a great event there.
mhm.
She ended up a silver. Might have been Asian Championship, might have been some other event. I'm not sure. but she definitely did impress, except for those last 30 seconds. But Ritika Hooda, I think, is one girl who is sort of coming through.
She obviously she's got a good domestic competition as well in her category, and I think I remember after Olympics she even lost in some national tournament, maybe national championship or some national event it was. Maybe someone can let us know in the chat. There is this another 76 kg girl, right? World under 20, under 17 champion for
I
us.
think P से कुछ नाम है, right? शायद पूजा या प्रिया,
Yeah,
सम
he
प्रिया
said
मलिक मे बी।
Priya
प्रिया
Malik,
मलिक,
right?
हाँ, आई वाज थिंकिंग पूजा और
Yes.
प्रिया के बीच में, आई वाज
I think,
थिंकिंग।
yeah, she did lose to Priya in one of the event.
ओके।
So yeah, वही है. I mean, same good old theory, right? If domestic competition is good,
हम्म।
so वो थोड़ा सा it helps only to
हाँ।
make you perform better on the global stage.
हाँ बट
Yeah,
रितिका का
women's
ये
wrestling is sorted, but
मेन
freestyle का क्या है?
में, मेन में
कुछ भी
कुछ
नहीं
नहीं
है.
हो रहा। नहीं हो रहा। नहीं हो रहा, मतलब वी जस्ट हैव टू होप मे बी अमन कैन डू बेटर। अमन भी, आई हैव ऑलवेज सेड कि he was honestly a tad lucky with the medal in Paris, but hopefully he can build on that.
Yeah, not a great start if he wants to build on that. He's been on a losing streak. अभी
किस
कोई तो event चल रहा है ना?
ब्रॉन्ज आया ना, किससे हारा? डिड यू सी किससे
But
हारा?
he lost a couple of matches there.
अच्छा।
I don't know bronze कैसे आया, मैंने इतना ट्रैक नहीं किया, but
मे
he
बी चार
did
पांच
lose
लोग ही
to,
होंगे तो वो राउंड रॉबिन में
could
से
be.
ब्रॉन्ज हुआ होगा, हाँ।
Yeah. So he one lost to the US guy
हम्म।
who was a former NCAA champion, and then he lost another match as well.
ठीक है, या बट रेसलिंग का बहुत ज्यादा हुआ नहीं है। वील सी हाउ इट गोस, बट या currently women definitely give you much more hope than the men. That's
Hmm. True.
उसके आगे बॉक्सिंग में तो आई थिंक हार्डली कुछ हुआ है। देयर वर फ्यू pretty much domestic type events which were happening, जो BFI keeps tweeting about, but yeah, I really didn't follow them much.
Yeah, no action at all in boxing, right? Other than Nishant also moving to pro
Pro,
boxing
हाँ,
now.
that's honestly sad, हाँ, मतलब I think he could have gone for one more Olympics. Maybe he still will, because it's not
Yeah.
like pros are banned now. So let's see, देखते हैं क्या होता है।
Mm, true. What else? Any sport left?
आई मीन टेनिस
Olympics
में तो
point of
कुछ
view
है नहीं
से?
खास। टेनिस में तो आउट ही हो रहा है, और क्या, फ्रेंच ओपन चल रहा था बट कुछ निकल नहीं रहा है। हम्म।
क्या निकाल रहे थे?
मतलब कोई नया प्लेयर, कोई होप, कोई लगे कि ओके ये कुछ आगे जाके कर सकता है।
I think वो, like there are a few youngsters who are sort of training in European circuit right now. Manas Dhume hai. There are a couple of teenage girls also. One of them I can't recall. She's a Maharashtrian or South Indian and trains in Rafa's academy in Mallorca.
आई मीन
So
आई रिमेम्बर सीइंग अ ट्वीट के कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस वी गॉट टू इंडियंस इनटू द क्वालिफायर मेन ड्रॉ। मैं बोला यार, मतलब जूनियर क्वालिफायर मेन, जूनियर का मेन ड्रॉ। I'm
mm,
like, I mean, if that is our level, फिर अब क्या बात करें यार? We are getting happy that we qualified for the junior main draw. That is not the level we should be
yeah,
looking at.
yeah. Maya Rajeshwaran, Vasant and Sandeep are saying.
देखते हैं।
So yeah, but yeah, squash as well. I think
नाम
slow,
सुने बट
gradual.
yeah, you can say slow gradual, but I think it is maybe a little too slow. I'm not sure.
No, I'm talking about squash right now.
हाँ, स्क्वॉश का ही मैं बोल रहा हूँ, बिकॉज आई मीन बेसिकली द, जैसे अनहाट के केस में आई हैवंट फॉलोड, बट जितना मैं कि आई रीड लाइक शी बीट वर्ल्ड नंबर 16, शी बीट world number 20, but that's not that impressive when you consider squash, right? मतलब squash में we have been world number 10, world number 12 ourselves in the past. तो अभी,
Yeah. So
अभी
it's not
मतलब
that
ग्रोथ फेज ही
impressive.
है। हाँ,
हाँ,
ग्रोथ
growth
फेज
phase.
ही है। कहाँ
Because
जाता
if
है
you
वो टाइम
see,
बताएगा। हाँ।
they are overcoming where they were previously, right? So
हम्म।
उनका gradual progression तो continued ही है.
हाँ।
It's not like they've been stagnating or performing
हाँ,
at the
थोड़ा
same
थोड़ा
level, being inconsistent. वो छोटे छोटे steps लेके
आगे आ रहे हैं,
achievements
हाँ।
बढ़ ही रही हैं. And I think like LA 28 perspective say it's a very simple draw that top 16 are going to qualify. It's just a draw of 16, right?
Yeah, it's very low. We expected 32, but I think 16
It
16
is
ही
low,
निकला.
but if you see one person, one athlete per country, so I
Hmm.
think both Abhay and Anahat are going to safely qualify LMA.
वो भी चला था ना बीच में कि सौरव घोषाल केम बैक फ्रॉम रिटायरमेंट. क्या हुआ उसका? आई
He
डेंट
did,
रियली.
he did. Yeah, I read
वही
his
ना.
tweet, but I don't know how much of
हम्म.
like how active he is on the squash circuit right now. मुझे वो नहीं पता.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली मतलब आई सॉ दैट ट्वीट की इज कमिंग बैक एंड देन आई हर्ड एब्सोल्युटली नथिंग अबाउट इट.
Hmm.
मतलब हैज ही स्टार्टेड, हैज ही चेंज हिज माइंड, क्या हुआ? नो आइडिया. एंड
Hmm.
जोशना इज स्टिल प्लेइंग रिटायर्ड, वो भी नहीं पता मुझे. आई थिंक शी इज स्टिल
Yeah, but
प्लेइंग बट शी इज ड्रॉप्ड अ लॉट. शी इज nowhere near the top levels.
yeah, she's 35 plus as well, so I'm not sure how many years are left as well in her career though. But
Hmm.
yeah, one more sport definitely added for me to monitor
Follow.
closely. For sure, मैंने इतना squash नहीं देखा है. Also, the accessibility is not that great, right? Like doesn't come on any of the
मतलब ऑनलाइन
mainstream
मिलता है.
OTTs.
ऑनलाइन मिलता है लेकिन लेटर राउंड ही मिलते हैं आई थिंक.
ऑनलाइन लैपटॉप पे बैठ के ऑनलाइन ढूंढने वाले दिन तो चले गए
गए.
मेरे.
अच्छा.
डजंट हैपन एनीमोर. तो
अच्छा.
एक्सेसिबिलिटी मायने रखती है. व्हाटएवर कम्स इजी ऑन टीवी और मोबाइल. या
अच्छा टीवी कनेक्टेड रखा है तूने अभी भी? नॉट दैट यंग. बहुत यंग लोगों ने तो टीवी काट दिया ना, सिर्फ आजकल ओटीटी चलता है.
मतलब टीवी पे ओटीटी.
अच्छा. तो केबल कनेक्टेड रखा है कि काट ही दिया एक्चुअली?
नहीं नहीं, केबल नहीं है. इट्स ऑब्वियसली ओटीटी इंटरनेट ओनली.
अच्छा
बट
तूने
या
तूने
उस
भी
पे
काट
जो
दिया.
इजीली आ जाए. हाँ.
हाँ तूने भी टीवी काट
स्क्वॉश.
दिया.
हाँ हाँ, स्क्वॉश आई थिंक उनकी खुद की वेबसाइट पे आता है, जो भी है वो.
हाँ मे बी.
They have
लाइक
their exclusive website, no, where it gets telecast.
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, मतलब इफ यू वांट टू फाइंड यू कैन फाइंड इट, बट जनरली यू फाइंड द लेटर राउंड्स. इट्स टफ टू फाइंड द अर्लियर राउंड्स. क्योंकि मैंने एक दो बार ढूंढा है और मुझे मिल गया है, बट या लेटर राउंड्स में पहुंचने भी चाहिए ना पहले. दैट इज द पॉइंट.
Yeah, yeah,
फिर
cool.
और उसके
I know
अलावा
you're itching to talk about chess,
नहीं
तो
ऐसा
बोल ले.
कुछ नहीं है.
I don't think anything else is left from
I
our
mean,
Olympic
cricket is
standpoint.
obviously left. Cricket B is the Olympic sport. You want to finish off the Olympic sport, so let's finish off with cricket. And you will have to talk now, because now we are the world champions in going into an Olympic sport.
Are
Though there
we?
is another World Cup. There's another World
Which
Cup coming.
which World Cup did we win?
T20 World Cup, and T20 is the Olympic
Oh,
sport, dude.
oh, okay.
नाटक क्या कर रहा है?
Hmm.
We are the
मतलब
Olympic champ. We are the
yeah, like
world champions in the Olympic event now.
हाँ, we are. So how does it change? I mean, doesn't change anything for us, right?
Well, we will get a hopefully a medal on the tally.
We were anyways getting it, even if we hadn't won a World Cup. So
नहीं मतलब वी आर डूइंग वेल यार. मतलब वहां पे भी जीतना पड़ेगा ना. उधर क्या तुझे क्या लग रहा है हम लोग बस शो ऑफ करेंगे और इंडिया को फ्री में मेडल दे दिया जाएगा? व्हाट आर यू थिंकिंग?
it's firstly it's 6 teams. Secondly, US is going to be one of them as host.
दैट्स बाय द वे स्टिल नॉट क्लियर्ड कि यूएस विल
It
बी ऑन.
is almost final.
ठीक है.
तो मतलब अगर तुम 5 टीम्स में से भी मेडल नहीं
बट
जीत रहे,
बट उसके पहले
तो
क्वालिफिकेशन भी तो है.
बीसीसीआई should have. हाँ,
बट उसके पहले क्वालिफिकेशन
क्वालिफाई
भी
तो
तो
कर ही जाएंगे. कैसे
है.
कौन अब पता नहीं क्वालिफिकेशन फॉर्मेट क्या होगा.
एग्जैक्टली दैट्स द पॉइंट. अगर क्वालिफिकेशन फॉर्मेट.
Regardless, if you're not qualifying or not meddling in LA 28, BCCI should shut shop. Simple.
वाओ. इतना लगा दिया तूने. अरे बट
हाँ
मेडल.
मतलब
मेडल क्यों? हम तो
एम्बैरेसिंग
गोल्ड
ही है
देख रहे
अगर
हैं.
मेडल
हम
नहीं
तो
आ रहे
गोल्ड
तो.
देख और एक क्यों दो देख रहे हैं. डोंट फॉरगेट द अदर वन.
या ऑफ कोर्स.
बट एनीवेज ठीक है. टॉकिंग अबाउट क्रिकेट, मतलब क्रिकेट ऑब्वियसली वही बात है. टेस्ट क्रिकेट हैज स्ट्रगल्ड एंड वाइट बॉल क्रिकेट ने फोड़ रखा है एटलीस्ट राइट नाउ. मेन साइड में वी गॉट द T20 वर्ल्ड कप, वी गॉट द चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी. मोमेंट्स वेयर वी कुड हैव डन अ स्ट्रीम इफ वेब ऑफ क्रिकेट को थोड़ा भाव दे देता. बट बिकॉज वेब ऑफ को भाव नहीं देना है, वी डिड नॉट डू स्ट्रीम्स आफ्टर दोज मोमेंट्स. बट या क्रिकेट हैज हैड अ non-test cricket has had a great year from that perspective, and been a lot of fun. Uh, Test cricket चालू हो रहा है within 15 days, so hopefully big series coming up, India England, and a lot of changes obviously happening. Uh,
Starting with the trophy name.
Trophy name is
What
controversial
do
also.
you have thought? Matlab, what are your thoughts about it?
मतलब
So
my
many. I see this pattern that a lot of people, basically cricket experts, so to say, are coming forth and saying that they shouldn't have changed the erstwhile name on which was on Patodi, right? And but all of them are like all the, how do I say, none of those were the youngsters who had problem with it, but all the oldies, basically, who would have seen cricket in 70s 80s, basically 50 plus.
see my thing is give me a second. तू बोल एक second.
No, I was just wondering, सबसे पहले तो मेरे को ये नहीं पता who would have suggested for this name or who was the final decision maker here. But if it was collectively BCCI and ECB, I mean, they need to think of it from a marketing or a business standpoint as well, right? That they need to cater to the next generation also.
Okay, see तो
Number one,
हाँ, so
let me complete.
हाँ बोल ले.
Number two, it could be philosophy of the board that this is how they want to, and these are the reasons they want to change the name. Okay, because as per their philosophy, currently they need to have the modern day legends on the name of the trophy. So it's their philosophy. Let it be. No, मतलब उसका इतना हवा बनाने का I don't see a lot of point in that.
ठीक है, so I'll say first of all there are a lot of things here. पहले तो I'm not too sure a lot of people know this, but India England was Pataudi Trophy only when played in England. तुझे पता था ये?
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
हाँ, so first of all तो ये information जो भी सारे experts चिल्ला रहे हैं ना, because लोगों को चिल्लाने में मजा आता है, चिल्लाना gets engagement. First of all, this is very conveniently been forgotten by a lot of people. India England was known as Pataudi Trophy only when played in England. India England when played in India was named the Anthony De Mello Trophy. एंथनी
Who
डिमेलो
is?
कौन है? बीसीसीआई का फर्स्ट प्रेसिडेंट,
Oh,
जिसने बेसिकली
like
तब
an English dude.
नो नो ही वाज एन इंडियन डूड,
Hmm.
बट उसने तब अपने जमाने में अपने नाम पे रख दिया ट्रॉफी का नाम. राइट, ही हैड द पावर टू डू इट बिकॉज ही वाज द बीसीसीआई प्रेसिडेंट. ही केप्ट द नेम. So first of all, तो the India England because of this it did not have a constant name. जो if you look at India Australia, the Border Gavaskar Trophy, it now has an acronym BGT. It's become a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
Just because of
And
the
it has
BGT
a
name.
nice ring to it, right? So is Tendulkar Anderson Trophy.
Exactly. So that BGT has a huge ring to it. It became a huge marketing thing. Okay. So first of all, पहले तो ये समझो कि इंडिया इंग्लैंड में ऐसा था नहीं कि पटौरी ट्रॉफी वाज अ कांस्टेंट नेम. एक बार पटौरी होता था, एक बार एंथनी डिमेलो होता था. इट मेड नो
You
सेंस.
you are talking about how many people knew about this being named Patodi Trophy only in England. I doubt a lot of people even knew it was called
कॉल्ड
Patodi
पटौरी ट्रॉफी.
Trophy. Yeah,
एग्जैक्टली. एग्जैक्टली इट वाज नॉट फेमस. ओके. Second is a lot of people जो मैंने एटलीस्ट देखा, they were talking about how great Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi was, and it's an insult to him by removing his name, right?
exactly. Yeah.
This is one thing I saw. But if you think of it, just सोचो, इंडिया इंग्लैंड सीरीज इंग्लैंड में हो रही है. Why is it named after Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi, who's an Indian player? Is there any
When he
answer?
used to represent England also,
No, his
that's the reason.
father used to
His
represent
father,
England.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the
And he
trophy,
used to play for county cricket.
काउंटी तो सब लोग खेलते हैं, but my point is the trophy was actually not named after him. It was named after his father
Hmm.
because his father represented both England and India. And then obviously the name is Pataudi Trophy. So at some point he also got added, and it became it's named after the Pataudi family. But the name came from actually his father, not from him because his father has
Yeah,
played
yeah.
both for England and India. Otherwise, the sensible thing is to do that, right? You take one player from, which is the common thing now. You take one player from both teams and you name after both of them. But we found a player, Pataudi, who has played for both the teams. So we had just one name.
Hmm.
So the entire जो angle जो चल रहा है ना कि it's an insult to Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi, according to me, it was never named after him in the first place. But ठीक है. But at the end of the day, I would have preferred if they would have just called the India England Pataudi Trophy instead of Tendulkar Anderson. I will say this because it had a name.
But what's the problem with Tendulkar Anderson?
नहीं, so problem वही है कि it's like it had been given to Pataudi, you don't want to take it back from it. That's the only problem. और कोई problem
ठीक
नहीं
है.
है. But then even I'm saying take it back from Anthony De Mello because he was just an administrator and I don't care.
हाँ तो वो भी taken back हो ही गया ना
But
eventually if
वो
the
but
trophy name got changed.
but
So
वही बात है ना
even that is
क्रिकेटर.
redundant now.
हाँ बट क्रिकेटर और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर में फर्क है. एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर से मतलब ये तो इंडिया में हम लोग बोलते ही हैं कि वन ऑफ द बिग प्रॉब्लम्स इसके सारे हमारे स्टेडियम स्टैंड्स वैंड दे आर जनरली नेम्ड आफ्टर administrators and politicians and non-sports persons, and we should have more sporting infrastructure named after sporting people. So I don't have a problem with Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. From a marketing perspective, definitely Anderson Tendulkar Trophy will sell much more than Pataudi Trophy. When I read the news, I knew there will be a controversy here, but I also knew कि controversy होएगी, फिर सब भूल जाएंगे, everybody will move on. Okay, so that is what's gonna happen. If you ask me,
I don't think controversy as such, but yeah, it's one of those things which does create chatter
hmm,
and thoda sa like people
और
do talk
क्रिकेट में
about
तो
it.
फिर जल्दी से eyeballs आते हैं ना, very easy to create chatter also.
Yeah, true.
Just for eyeballs also people create chatter. But yeah, I would have preferred had it been Pataudi Trophy across, which it never was. But ठीक है, Anderson Tendulkar is also great. And obviously मतलब Tendulkar के लिए you could have used something else. जैसे for example, the South African series doesn't have a name. It's just called like Friendship Trophy or something. जहाँ तक मुझे पता है. Uh,
Kohli ABD trophy.
कोहली एबीडी ट्रॉफी या यू कैन डू दैट. यू कैन साउथ अफ्रीका में तो वो बात वो भी चली थी बीच में और सजेशन चला था नेम इट गांधी मंडेला ट्रॉफी बिकॉज यू हैव such a big connection between India and South Africa. So you have many other trophies which can be named. But yeah, at the same time, Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, great name, and it will become a thing soon, like BGT, which was needed from a marketing perspective. And
True,
it is a
true that.
marquee series which deserves a trophy moving, from one team to the other.
Yeah, and I mean they might be finding it difficult to keep Test cricket format relevant for the next generation,
ये
right?
सब बकवास है, कुछ नहीं है ये सब.
बकवास है क्या मतलब? I
मेरे
am
को तो
just
लगता है ये
saying
सब
might
बकवास है.
be there could be a possibility they would have their own researchers in house who would be tracking all of these
I
things.
mean,
हम टूर में यहाँ बैठ के खाली पीली सोच ही सकते हैं ना, अज्यूम ही कर सकते हैं.
I mean, you don't need. By the way, Ashish is saying it is actually now called Gandhi Mandela. I'm not sure the India South Africa, but yeah, I mean, you don't need a researcher to tell you that Anderson Tendulkar Trophy will sell more marketing wise than Pataudi Trophy slash Anthony De Mello Trophy. You don't need a researcher to tell you that.
No, no. I meant that they might be finding it difficult to make the test cricket format relevant to the next generation. And these are just small logical points they are undertaking, trying to bring these changes to the format. One
Maybe.
such changes, naming the trophies such way.
By the way, trophy name change का एक और भी impact होता है. Do you know? It's not just a name change. तो पहले क्या होता था? If the let's say India England series में, so series is a draw. Okay. So if the series is a draw, then it's like the Pataudi Trophy is shared. Okay.
Hmm.
Now if the series is a draw, it's like if the previous series was won by India, then it becomes the
They'll get
trophy
to keep it
retained by India.
retained by BGT में भी तो यही
हाँ,
होता
so
है.
BGT में यही होता है. So वो इंडिया इंग्लैंड में नहीं हो रहा था बिकॉज
Hmm.
वहां पे पटौडी ट्रॉफी था, यहाँ पे एंटनी दी मेलो ट्रॉफी था.
Oh,
So the
okay.
name change also impacts that. Okay, now it's a floating trophy. Okay, who holds it at any given point of time, and if you draw a series, then you retain it. तो वो भी फैक्टर. बट ठीक है, क्रिकेट में या वेरी एक्साइटेड अबाउट द इंडिया इंग्लैंड सीरीज. तू देखेगा थोड़ा बहुत भी? नथिंग. एंड या ओके. एंड उसके
I mean,
अलावा
I'm not able to watch the sports I want to watch, and you're asking me about Test cricket.
या एंड बियॉन्ड दैट आई मीन वुमेन्स का भी वर्ल्ड कप आ रहा है. डू यू नो? वुमेन वर्ल्ड कप इन इंडिया
Yeah,
इन सितंबर अक्टूबर नहीं अक्टूबर
it's
नवंबर.
40, 50 over.
Yeah, 50 over World Cup in 2025, T20 World Cup in 2026, which again is the precursor to the Olympics. So yeah,
It's in
women.
India again.
नहीं, next year the T20 is in England. इस बार का 50 over is in India.
Next year, the World Championship is happening in India. Badminton.
हाँ, वो भी देखा. Yes,
Hmm.
that is also happening in India. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's again exciting.
women's cricket, I think we still need a few batters. But yeah, at least Pratika Rawal has come. She's had a good start. Shefali Verma is back in form. But वुमेन्स क्रिकेट में मेरे को हमेशा ही लगा है कि वी नीड सम बैटिंग डेप्थ, जो रियल बैटिंग डेप्थ जो काफ़ी टाइम से वी आर मिसिंग, बट होपफुली इस वर्ल्ड कप में अगर हम लोग कुछ कर सकते हैं तो देन वुमेन कैन ऑल्सो डू समथिंग बोथ नाउ एंड ऑल्सो एट एल ए में भी थोड़ा मोमेंटम बनेगा. दो T20 में भी स्ट्रगल आर प्लेयर्स आर नॉट नेचुरली बिग हिटर्स, बट एंड टी ट्वेंटी
You
टी
think Harmanpreet is going to continue till LA?
या आराम से.
Okay. And she's going to lead as well. Like she's
अब
going to remain the captain also.
unless she gets completely out of form, that's a
Hmm.
different story. But yeah, I would bet on her staying. मतलब मैंने तो एक्चुअली ऑनेस्टली बोला है कि आई मेड दिस स्टेटमेंट समवेयर कि इन माय वुमेन क्रिकेट वाचिंग इन रीसेंट टाइम्स, मतलब लेट्स से आफ्टर मिताली राज रिटायरमेंट, ओके, आफ्टर मिताली राज रिटायरमेंट मुझे लगता है इंडिया ने 5 ही बैटर ढूंढे टोटल. मतलब एक स्मृति, शेफाली, हरमनप्रीत, जेमीमा एंड रिचा. इंडिया ने 5 ही रियल बैटर ढूंढे. The others are, batters in name only. You haven't actually got quality batters outside of that. We have tried a lot of other batters, but none of them have been consistent enough and good enough to be actually a real world class batter. A couple of them, new ones have come. Pratika Rawal has come. Tejan Lasabnis has come. Maybe they can be, but मुझे और किसी में which I have always felt has been India's problem कि 5 real batters is not good enough. You need more. दीप्ति शर्मा थोड़ा बहुत कभी कभी कर लेती है, but not doesn't give you that confidence. And she is generally the one जो chasing में ना हमेशा she'll get you close but she won't get you over the line. ये मैंने दीप्ति का बहुत देखा है. And too many matches at least chasing I have seen के if these 5 batters are gone, 30 of 30 भी हमसे नहीं बनता है. 30 runs of 30 balls भी नहीं बनते once these 5 are
Any
gone.
any new youngsters coming up
यही बोला,
who are the ones to watch out?
प्रतीका रावल इज
Pratika
देयर.
Ram,
या प्रतीका
bowling
रावल
department.
बॉलिंग डिपार्टमेंट में तो कई आए गए. दिस आई वाज ऑलवेज इंप्रेस्ड बाय टाइटस साधु, बट आई थिंक शी इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम
Oh
इंजरीज.
yeah, I remember. Yeah,
कंटिन्यूअसली शी
she's
इज आई थिंक
battling.
सफरिंग फ्रॉम इंजरीज, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम.
Mm-hmm.
फिर उसके अलावा श्रेयंका पाटिल आई थी, शी इज आल्सो हैविंग नाउ इंजरी इश्यूज. बट बॉलिंग इज ओके. बॉलिंग में स्नेह राणा बाय द वे मेड अ ह्यूज कमबैक
Mm-hmm.
recently. So bowling हमारी is still okay. I really just feel कि we need couple of more batters whom we can depend, and at least we get to a point के 5-6 विकेट के बाद भी 30 of 30 टाइप का स्कोर तो यार we can chase down, which we haven't been able to chase down many times, जो
Mm.
बहुत इरिटेट करता है. ठीक है, देखते हैं. आई एम होपिंग टू वुमेन्स वर्ल्ड कप साला बॉम्बे में तो है नहीं. बीसीसीआई बीइंग बीसीसीआई बैंगलोर में रखा, फिर उसके अलावा सब छोटी छोटी जगहों पे. होपफुली देखते हैं, शायद आई ट्राई टू गो टू बैंगलोर इफ आई कैन.
Okay, nice. Are
मतलब
you going to come for Badminton World Championship next year?
too far, but depends on how we are doing in
Because I
badminton.
remember you, like when we met in Bombay in December,
Hmm.
you were talking about if you would want to come to Indian Open. तो तूने कैटेगोरिकली मना कर दिया था दैट मैं मतलब इस ऐसे इंडियन ओपन के लिए तो नहीं आने वाला.
नहीं, बट वो उसमें मेन पॉइंट यही है कि वो देखो कविता आ गई है चैट में पहले, मैं नहीं जा रही बैंगलोर, तेरे को जा ज्यादा है जा. हाँ
Hmm.
हाँ, तो ठीक है, इस बार मैं अकेला चला जाऊंगा, देखेंगे. बट बट बैडमिंटन में यार सबसे बड़ी बात वो है, नॉट इन द करंट स्टेट. दिस स्टेट ऑफ बैडमिंटन हैज टू इम्प्रूव. दिस करंट स्टेट डजंट गिव मी द एंथू टू गो एंड see the world championship in Bangalore. Maybe it might change next
ये
year.
वही बात हो गई ना कि when the chips are down you don't want to support them.
You can say that, but that is the way. मतलब I have a limit to
That's
how much
how
I.
that's how United fans operate, Kapil. You're not supposed to.
Like, you can say whatever you want, but I have a limit to how much losing I can see. I can see everything. I can't see Indians losing continuously. I can bear a little bit, but if you keep losing and keep losing and keep losing, I am not able to see. That
Yeah.
is that is my limit.
Guys, I hope all of you are listening to Kapil and taking a note of it.
हाँ नहीं, मतलब it is what it is. मतलब मैंने पहले भी बोला है, following sports is not social service, right? You do it if you enjoy it. You don't do it if you don't enjoy it. and I
Dude,
don't.
where is your patriotism? I mean, it's not a social service, but patriotism has to be a huge part of it, isn't
हाँ
it?
हाँ, तो बट पेट्रियोटिज्म वहीं से आता है ना कि भैया हारते हुए नहीं देख सकते हम कंटिन्यूस, कब तक हारते हुए देखेंगे? पेट्रियट वही बात है ना, जीतते हुए देखने में मजा आता है, हारते हुए देख सकते हैं। इफ विंस एंड लॉसेस आर बोथ हैपनिंग एंड यू आर सपोर्टिंग एंड यू आर चीयरिंग, बट एज आई टोल्ड यू, यू नो, सत्विक चिराग के अलावा एवरी अदर मैच, मतलब इवन एट 16 ऑल आई एम नॉट गेटिंग एक्साइटेड कि शी कैन विन दिस, इवन एट 16
ठीक
ऑल
है,
आई एम
मैं
लाइक हारने ही वाले हैं।
समझ गया हूँ. Had you been a Premier League fan, you would have been a United supporter. That's for sure.
आई मीन ठीक है, आई डोंट नो, बट वो ठीक है, दैट बोन ऑफ फॉलोइंग फ्रैंचाइज स्पोर्ट इज जस्ट नेवर डेवलप्ड इन माय बॉडी, सो मुझे अभी भी चमकता नहीं है कि हाउ कैन पीपल गेट सो क्रेजी अबाउट फ्रैंचाइज टीम्स, सो दैट्स फाइन, एवरीबॉडी हैज देयर ओन थिंग।
ठीक है, cool. Yeah, let's go on. Chess as the
उसके
last
अलावा
sport.
या चेस ऑब्वियसली हैज हैड अ ड्रीम ईयर बेसिकली, एटलीस्ट सिंस वी लास्ट गेम। गुकेश हैज बिकम द वर्ल्ड चैंपियन, यहाँ पे चार चार लोग टॉप 10 में बैठे हैं, हम लोग सब जगह फोड़ रहे हैं, एट द सेम टाइम बीच बीच में डाउन्स भी आते रहते हैं। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अभी नॉर्वे चेस में इवेंचुअली लास्ट डे वी एंडेड अप थर्ड इन बोथ मेन एंड वुमेन व्हेन देयर वाज अ शॉट एट फर्स्ट,
Yeah,
एंड
just a moment. I need to respond to Ashish that I am also loving it for no reason at all. That's the kind of
नहीं,
season it has been.
you have a reason dude, you are a Liverpool fan, I don't know
Yeah,
आशीष
but
का क्या हाल है।
United has got nothing to do with you, right? I just wanted to bring it in.
ओके, ठीक है।
Go on.
हाँ, सो चेस में तो ऑब्वियसली चेस में हम झंडे गाड़ ही रहे हैं, वी आर दी undisputed best chess nation in the world. One thing which but we are still,
So if Gukesh and Pragnanda everyone starts losing, you'll stop watching chess, is it?
yeah, continuously, yes. It's not the first sport which it's happened with. Eventually, if you keep losing, I can't watch it. That is the way it is.
ठीक है, go
अरे
on.
तू वो छोड़ अभी
No, I'm just bantering, nothing
नहीं नहीं,
else.
तू उसको छोड़, आई टेल यू राइट नाउ ओनली, ओके? नॉर्वे चेस वाज अ ग्रेट इवेंट, राइट? ओके, तूने भी थोड़ा बहुत देखा, यू आर सेइंग यू सॉ द बैंगिंग एंड एवरीथिंग।
I saw the clip, yeah, on Twitter.
So you also enjoyed Norway chess to quite an extent, right? And you were discussing के Gukesh का reaction was also weird के, मतलब is it because
Yeah,
it?
I was actually wondering कि वो reaction table banging की वजह से था या he was in shock that he had beaten Magnus. So
हाँ
that
तो
wasn't clear.
हाँ तो मेरा तो वर्जन वही था, it was the table banging thing. It was just a shock to the system because it wasn't a winning thing because ठीक है, he was struggling in the game and Magnus had blundered and it had changed, लेकिन change हुए हुए भी 4-5 मिनट हो गया था. So it was coming कि okay, he knew कि he should be able to win now, and then but he hadn't won fully. अभी भी चल रहा था game, and then suddenly the table bang came out of nowhere. तो he definitely got shocked out of there. And मेरे लिए तो सबसे बड़ा surprise वो था कि he left the table without putting the pieces back together, which is a big thing for Gukesh कि कुछ भी हो जाए, धरती धरती फट जाए या आसमान गिर जाए टाइप, मैच के बाद हमको सारे पीसेस तो वापस रखने ही है, which often doesn't make sense, right? Because it's
Yeah, I
like,
saw you shouting out loud on Twitter about it.
but he did. He came back and he did set it up. Okay. और वो गुकेश का ही है because you know if you think about it, where does this come from by the way? ये pieces रखने का comes from the child tournaments where you have like 100 boards and you have like 5 referees. तो 100 board और 5 referees, the idea is कि game खत्म करके you put it back so that the referees don't have to do it for the next day. कि 5 रेफरी को 100 बोर्ड पे जाके सब जगह वापस अगले दिन के लिए ना करना पड़े, सो यू डू इट, दैट इज द लॉजिक देयर। बट गुकेश ने उसको आदत बना ली है, एंड वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप जीतने के बाद भी ही इज डूइंग इट। वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप के बाद उस बोर्ड पे कोई खेलने नहीं वाला है अगले दिन, दैट यू नीड टू डू इट, एंड एनीवेज यू
Yeah,
डोंट
yeah.
नीड
I
टू डू इट।
mean, sports persons have their own quirks,
Exactly.
right? They want to
And
follow certain things.
and I think for him it's a respecting to the board, ki giving respect to the board and whatever. So he's made it a practice. It's a little bit funny कि freestyle के बाद also he does it, क्योंकि freestyle में तो same position भी नहीं आने वाली है।
अच्छा,
Freestyle
but मेरे
तुझे
को
पता
ये
है?
बता, what
हाँ,
do you what do you think that like he's good in classical, right?
yeah, he's great in
Gukesh.
classical.
So how do
Rapid.
you measure his performance यहाँ नॉर्वे चेस में?
Norway chess में overall I will say positive, but not too positive also. Could have been a little better. Uh,
Were you expecting him to like maybe go all the way and maybe win also, because obviously
hey,
Magnus was there.
everything is possible. मतलब chess में it's not that absurd and definitely at क्या हुआ अभी?
I'm genuinely interested.
हम्म, क्या हुआ? नहीं ठीक है मतलब
वो
chess.
he's asking stop pretending as if I'm interested in chess.
हाँ ओके 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 लास्ट वाला मैं वही ढूंढ रहा था कि कौन सा कमेंट देख के तू हंस रहा है. हम्म, नहीं हाँ ठीक है मतलब it was definitely possible but let's say it was a great comeback after the first two losses. He started the tournament with two losses.
Oh,
He
okay.
he came in with a confidence a little shattered, mainly because he's not done well in freestyle. I mean, अगर इसका classical record देखो, he started the year with Vaikenze, where he was joint first, and Vaikenze is known as the Wimbledon of chess. So he was joint first there. Nobody can say he did badly there. He had like +4 score or something like that. +4 matlab you win 4 games more than you lost. So he
Hmm.
had something like +4 score there. Then classical mein he went to this Romania tournament where he struggled a little bit, but it was like -2. So he lost 2 games, but he struggled. It wasn't the best, but it's not like it was a disaster tournament or anything. But beach में the freestyle tournaments have been disasters. फ्रीस्टाइल बाय द वे तुझे पता है कि क्या है कि नहीं तुझे पता ही नहीं है पूरा
नहीं
कॉन्सेप्ट.
exactly तो नहीं पता, but yeah, I do remember you talking about Gukesh in one of the streams that like obviously his potential is great but he's not the most consistent. उसका ऊपर नीचे चलता रहता है हमेशा.
नहीं तो फ्रीस्टाइल इज नॉट दैट. फ्रीस्टाइल क्या है कि इट्स अ डिफरेंट फॉर्मेट ऑफ चेस. इट्स कॉल्ड चेस 960. सो
Mhm.
बेसिकली यू रैंडमली ड्रॉ. सो देर आर स्टार्टिंग पोजीशन अलग होती है. स्टार्टिंग में जो हम रखते हैं ना कि इतना तो तुझे पता है राइट, दोनों हाथी यहाँ पे, दोनों घोड़े यहाँ पे, दोनों ऊँट यहाँ
Come
पे.
on, Kapil.
हाँ सो
हाँ.
सो दिस बैक रो इटसेल्फ इज shuffled. It is shuffled randomly
Okay.
and you
Okay.
draw a number. So there are total 960 positions. You draw a number at the beginning of the game. So beginning of the game, let's say the number comes 702. 702 will correspond to position and that you will set up at the back. So it
Hmm.
could be like कि दोनों घोड़े यहाँ पे है, फिर दोनों ऊँट है, फिर एक हाथी है, फिर राजा रानी हाथी. Okay, so it's called chess 960 and it is a format which was invented by Bobby Fischer. Not invented but popularized first by Bobby Fischer way back in the 70s 80s, and right now Magnus is really pushing it. मैग्नस ने बेसिकली डिसाइड कर लिया है कि मेरे को क्लासिकल चेस में मजा नहीं आ रहा है और क्लासिकल चेस वर्ल्ड चैंपियन तो मैं हूँ नहीं अब क्योंकि मेरे को उस साइकिल में कम्पीट नहीं करना है. तो आई विल नाउ पुश दिस चेस 960. They have given it a new name called freestyle chess. He's found a business partner who frankly to me looks very shady. He's found a German business partner जो मेरे को, आई मीन इफ यू रिमेंबर क्रिकेट में कभी कोई ईसीबी ने कोई एक एडम सैनफर्ड या स्टैनफर्ड के साथ पार्टनरशिप की थी एंड दे डिड अ इंग्लैंड वर्सेस वेस्ट इंडीज मैच वेयर एवरी प्लेयर गॉट लाइक $1 million एंड देन दैट स्टैनफर्ड एंडेड अप इन जेल एंड ही टर्न्ड आउट टू बी अ कंप्लीट फ्रॉड एंड पूरा हुआ था ये एंड 2008
But
2009.
all
तो
his compatriots are also with him, right? All rest of the top players
नो नो
on the
ओनली मैग्नस इज पुशिंग इट. मैग्नस एंड हिकारू नाकामुरा, टू प्लेयर्स आर पुशिंग इट. The others play because there's a lot of money. Okay, क्योंकि स्पॉन्सरशिप आ गई है. बट नो बडी सेइंग कि फ्री स्टाइल इज better than classical or classical is dead except for those two players,
Hmm.
and they are
And
really pushing the narrative.
actually, I wanted to ask you this question also. What do you make of Magnus's general demeanor? Like he does come across as arrogant and he sort of downplays Indian chess players' achievements also, and थोड़ा सा derogatory भी कई बार हो जाता है. तो in general, that's his usual demeanor. Yeah, uh, I don't know. It's something special with the Indian players.
I think Magnus is largely honest. uh,
मुझे
मतलब
लगा ऐसा.
he just speaks his mind. Yes, he is little arrogant, but then you can say he sort of deserved the arrogance with his performance in
Hmm.
the past. So he is largely honest. The one problem which is happening right now is okay, he's trying to build this narrative where he will play like 1 or 2 events a year classical. वो एक या दो इवेंट अगर वो खेलेगा और एक दो इवेंट वो जीत लेगा और वो भी मतलब इन हिज ओन कंडीशंस राइट. तो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल ही इज प्लेइंग नॉर्वे चेस एट होम with a time control which is not fully classical. It shortened classical time control. and he's like, ये tournament अगर मैं जीत लूँ, so then I have established कि I am the best player in the world, no matter what everybody else does. That's his aim. It's like he doesn't like classical chess anymore, and he doesn't want to play it, but he still wants that pride that I am still the best player in it.
Mm.
So that is the dichotomy which he is trying to do, which is a problem. Because in any other sport, if you don't play, you don't become stay world number one, right? Like in chess key ratings, they the way they work, if you play one game a year, your rating stays the same.
He
So
eroded half the live audience, couple. 40 के ऊपर थे, it's just 20 people left now.
हाँ तो ठीक है ना, चलेगा. Anyways ये लास्ट ही करना है ना
मतलब
अपन.
समझ रहे हैं how many people want to listen to you talking about chess.
क्या करे, तू बात नहीं कर रहा है ना, सिर्फ मेरे से अकेले से कैसे सुनेंगे. एक ही आदमी का ओपिनियन है ना. वही ना, टू पीपल्स ओनली 1% टॉकिंग, हाफ द ऑडियंस वेंट अवे योर फैंस.
ठीक है, any
हाँ
closing thoughts?
हाँ, सो वही चल रहा है. सो हाँ, तो बट जस्ट टू कंप्लीट द मैग्नस थिंग के, so Magnus is in that zone where he doesn't want to play classical chess, but he still wants to prove to the world that I am the best in it. And his way to do it is, I'll play one tournament, win that, and I'll prove it, which is not the way to do it. And the other thing, which where he's probably not that honest, I don't know if he is or he's not. He's really pushing freestyle, and he always positions this as a counter to classical, which is a problem. Given that freestyle of classical format में होने भी नहीं वाला है, वरना आप they have come down to 45 minutes a game in freestyle. So, but yeah, ठीक है. Indian chess on the whole, obviously great year. Prag in particular, 2025 so far has belonged to Prag. He's won like 3 tournaments
I,
already.
I I thought Arjun was doing pretty well.
Naini Arjun is actually struggling in 2025. He
Oh.
had a very bad Vaikanze. He lost a lot of rating. He did well in 2024 then.
And
2024
also
खत्म हुआ.
Norway chess he did pretty well, isn't it?
नहीं, नॉर्वे चेस में फिनिश फिफ्थ.
But he did beat Magnus as well.
नहीं, he beat Magnus in Armageddon. That is
Ah,
very
okay.
different.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Armageddon पता है कि वो भी.
मतलब I've read about it, but exactly technicalities नहीं पता. But I'm not interested in knowing also. It's okay. We'll talk
नहीं,
about
बट अब
it.
मुझे बताना तो पड़ेगा.
नहीं नहीं बाद
हाँ.
में बताते हैं
नहीं, it's
चलेगा.
very simple. Armageddon is like a Norway chess में they did this tie break game where if your regular game is a draw, then
Hmm.
you play an Armageddon game. So Armageddon game में white has 10 minutes, black has 7 minutes, but a draw is a win for black.
Oh, okay.
So Armageddon, if you win Armageddon, you get half a point more,
So
and it's
time
like,
like
हाँ तो it's like a penalty shootout of hockey, जो अपना हॉकी लीग में होता है कि मैच ड्रॉ हो गया तो हम पेनल्टी शूट आउट कर लेंगे बाद में. सो ही वन इन आर्मेगेडन विच इज फाइन. अर्जुन का वो है, लेकिन अर्जुन का क्या है कि he played a lot of lower rated players last year, and he thrashed them, and he got his rating really high. And this year he's consistently playing the top players, so he needs to adjust his style a little bit. He takes a lot of risk, which is not paying off as much against the top players. But Arjun का है तो he's had a slightly rough year, but it's like हो जाएगा manage. He will eventually find the right balance between attacking and being solid. But yeah, so far the year has belonged to Prag.
I
And
think you need to DM him and talk.
ये सब मेरे फंडे नहीं है, ये सब फंडे कहीं से लिए हुए. चेस का चेस का अगर तुम फॉलो करने जाओ ना, इकोसिस्टम बहुत बड़ा है इंडिया में. यू हैव नो आइडिया.
वैभव मजे ले रहे हैं बस और कुछ नहीं.
फीडे सर्किट तो यार बहुत सिंपल है वैभव. देयर इज अ डॉक्यूमेंट, यू कैन गो एंड रीड द रूल्स. But it's basically like your best 7 tournaments, you get points and everything.
I thought
Prag,
it must be super complicated and that's why he's just being sarcastic about
मतलब
it.
पॉइंट्स जाओगे तो ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इट्स अ पॉइंट सिस्टम, इट्स अ वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग सिस्टम. अब तुम वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग सिस्टम में जाओगे तो थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेशन तो होता ही है ना.
ये मैं समझने की कोशिश कर रहा था व्हाट डज आशीष मीन हियर या वो भी नहीं पता है. नाउ आई रियलाइज अच्छा आर्मेगेडन में यू माइट हैव रिएक्टेड या वो
हाँ,
भी नहीं
वो भी नहीं पता है, राइट. अनुपम नरवाल आस्किंग व्हाट्स एन पसा, मजे ले रहे. ये भी नहीं पता होगा तुझे 100%, बट ये नहीं बताऊंगा मैं.
नहीं नहीं पता है मतलब आई ओनली रोट द रूल्स अराउंड इट. क्या बात
हाँ
कर रहा
हाँ हाँ हाँ, राइट राइट.
है.
Anyways, हाँ ठीक है, but yeah, chess में the only downside from the Indian perspective has been we are still not really sort of blazing away in like let's say rapid blitz and freestyle. हम लोग अभी भी classical पे focus कर रहे हैं. and we do little bit well here and there दूसरे formats में, but Indian players are still more focused on classical, rapid blitz, shorter formats as well as ठीक है freestyle का तो you don't know क्या होगा in the future, but yeah shorter formats अभी भी we can do better. हम्म, और कुछ पूछना है?
ऑल राइट, नहीं काफी हो गया आज का. आई थिंक इट्स टाइम फॉर अस टू क्लोज.
या
कितना,
नो
2.5 घंटा हो गया
सवा दो
ऑलमोस्ट.
ना आई थिंक सवा दो टाइप्स.
2 घंटे, यस. बट या
चल.
गुड फन. आई थिंक थोड़ा रेगुलर करते हैं.
हम्म.
नेक्स्ट ईयर वैसे भी एशियन गेम्स और कॉमनवेल्थ होंगे तो
कॉमनवेल्थ
ज्यादा से
तो
ज्यादा
हार्डली कुछ है, रियली कुछ
मतलब
नहीं है.
टैंडम में वो बोला जाता है तो जस्ट फॉर द
हाँ
हेक
बाय द
ऑफ इट.
वे
बट
दैट इज राइट. हाँ इस बार वर्ल्ड कप इज इन इंडिया, चेस वर्ल्ड कप इज आल्सो इन इंडिया. बोल रहा है वैभव सोनी आई शुड टेक यू अलोंग.
या फॉर श्योर, कल कल ही लीव अप्लाई करता हूँ.
हम्म.
ठीक
चलो फिर
है,
देखते
कूल. गुड फन, मजा आया बात करके.
हैं एनी पर्टिकुलर
इतना कुछ
यू
सेटअप
वांट
भी
टू.
था तो निकालना भी था वो.
आई थिंक क्लोजिंग के पहले यू वांट टू टॉक अबाउट एनी पर्टिकुलर इवेंट्स यू आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इन लाइक लेट्स से द नेक्स्ट मंथ 2 months.
नेक्स्ट मंथ और 2 मंथ, वर्ल्ड एथलेटिक चैंपियनशिप फॉर श्योर आई एम
कब आ
लुकिंग
रहा है?
फॉरवर्ड टू.
कब है?
सितंबर में है,
ओके काफी दूर है.
टोक्यो.
मतलब
हाँ
इस
बट
बार.
वो अगस्त सितंबर तो एनीवेज इज अ सीजन ऑफ वर्ल्ड
हाँ
चैंपियनशिप्स,
काफी कुछ
राइट?
अगस्त सितंबर में है, उसके पहले एनीथिंग इन जून जुलाई. आई थिंक इट
एनीथिंग इन जून जुलाई. फ्रॉम एन इंडियन पर्सपेक्टिव नॉट सो मच. थोड़ा बहुत वैसे डायमंड लीग्स का भी ये पीक सीजन रहता है.
हाँ डायमंड लीग थोड़े बहुत है, मैंने देखा था कुछ
करेक्ट.
तीन तीन इवेंट नीरज के लाइंड अप थे राइट, इंक्लूडिंग द नीरज चोपड़ा क्लासिक.
Correct. So that is what I'm looking forward to. Actually, I'm also looking forward to Sri Shankar making a comeback. I think he's closing in his comeback. तो कभी भी maybe next month or next to next month होने वाली
तेरा
है वो.
तेरा तो मतलब डीएम कांटेक्ट है ना, कुछ अंदर की खबर है क्या?
नहीं नहीं, वैसे ही मतलब just from his social media I'm trying to guess.
ओके.
तो या एथलेटिक्स बैडमिंटन में आई थिंक ऑब्वियसली सात्विक चिराग ग्रेजुअली रैंकिंग भी इम्प्रूव हो ही जाएगी. बट या
हाँ
if
रैंकिंग तो
they
ऑलरेडी काफी हो
keep
गई
in
होगी.
safety तो वो थोड़ा सा देखना है बिकॉज डबल्स के डायनेमिक्स थोड़े से चेंज हो गए हैं पोस्ट पेरिस. नॉट दैट
पार्टनरशिप्स
इट इज
आल्सो हैव चेंज्ड.
इम्पैक्टिंग या पार्टनरशिप्स हैव चेंज्ड बट.
मलेशिया के कुछ 3-4 पैर आ गए राइट, मैंने देखा 3-4 पैर चल रहे हैं.
करेक्ट
और
करेक्ट.
वो इंडोनेशिया हैज गॉन डाउन अ बिट.
हाँ, they've reshuffled their pairs तो वो भी हुआ है. And the Chinese are not doing that great. Koreans have reshuffled their pair. Kang Seo are no longer together. तो
ओके.
हाँ मतलब सही है. सात्विक चिराग का ऑब्वियसली देखना बनता है.
आई
या
थिंक उसके अलावा तो मतलब यही हॉकी
हॉकी का
सीजन चालू
pro
है.
क्या है, हॉकी का प्रो लीग.
हॉकी सीजन चालू हुआ है. शूटिंग वर्ल्ड कप कल से चालू हो रहा है.
शूटिंग वर्ल्ड कप है.
म्यूनिक
करेक्ट.
इज अ बिग वन सो होपफुली
या
दोज आर देयर.
म्यूनिक इज ऑलवेज एक्साइटिंग. एंड म्यूनिक में तो तू राइफल स्कोर्स की बात कर रहा था. म्यूनिक
हाँ
के
तो
स्कोर्स
फुड़ फुड़
एनीवेज आर
जाएंगे.
ऑफ द चार्ट्स.
फुड़ जाएंगे सब यार. उसके अलावा चेस तो चलता ही रहता है, क्रिकेट में भी इंडिया इंग्लैंड आ रहा है. आई थिंक वही है मेन. आई डोंट नो इफ आर्चरी वर्ल्ड कप नेक्स्ट कब है, दैट कुड बी द अदर वन. एंड बॉक्सिंग रेसलिंग में मुझे पता नहीं अगर कुछ आ रहा है तो, बट आई डोंट थिंक सो.
रेसलिंग में वही है मतलब जो अगस्त सितंबर अक्टूबर साइकिल होती है. आई एम श्योर देयर वुड बी अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप देयर.
हाँ बट
एंड
नॉर्मली
वर्ल्ड
वही
चैंपियनशिप,
हाँ.
नहीं नहीं,
वही.
वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप से पहले फिर नेशनल ट्रायल्स वगैरह होते हैं. और अभी पिछले 2 सालों में डोमेस्टिकली नेशनल ट्रायल्स हैव आल्सो बिकम वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, राइट?
या
एंड वी have not spoken or uttered her name पूरे स्ट्रीम में. बट we actually personally I don't know where is
थोड़ा बहुत
Vinesh.
यार होप दे रही थी लेकिन.
हाँ मतलब कुछ तो उसके क्रिप्टिक ट्वीट्स थे which hinted towards maybe she's
मे बी अ
planning
कम
to
बैक.
come
हाँ
back.
बट
But
यार
पता नहीं
फिर
हो
फिर
गया.
गायब हो गए वो ट्वीट सो आई डोंट नो.
Yeah, so
मतलब if she comes back that's obviously huge news, and obviously she'll have to face a lot of trolling as well, but it will be one of those sporting
doesn't
stories
matter.
हाँ अगर if she
The
actually somehow gets to LA 28, even if she just gets there, that's a big you know uh, how do you say कि heartwarming sporting tale if she even
mm,
just gets to LA.
mm,
चलो देखते हैं. So मतलब some small events coming here and there, but No major big events, I guess, till the August September World Championship season, right?
Yeah, true. Who's she? Suryansh is asking. It's Vinesh we are talking about. जापान का तो नहीं पता कब था. I don't know. It's next year, September, October.
एलए तो जा रहा है क्या तू? एलए का तो पक्का है क्या कि वो भी नहीं पता फिर?
3 चलेगा कैसे बता
3
दो.
साल पहले कैसे बताया? चलो
बट
देखते हैं.
देखते हैं. चलो.
All right,
ओके
guys.
गाइस,
Thanks.
थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग.
Yep. Thanks a lot for joining. Twitter पे है ही हम लोग. And hopefully we'll come back again soon when something interesting happens.
यस. गुड नाइट. गुड डे. बाय बाय.
Bye. किधर गया? And